We've got Ignition 2, 1. We've got RIP Takeoff, Rest Up, Takeoff, and condolences to his family. We got a big one lined up for y'all today. We're talking about my man, T. Howard. Madman or unadulterated genius. This is part 1 of a 3-part series. A lot to unpack here. I wanted to wrap, my, my wave conjugations around this whole thing, and I think I'm getting a much better grasp on what the brother's message is. So we're going to be unpacking it. So please like, share, subscribe. Please share this link. We got some, what do they call that? Housekeeping to do. And then we're going to jump it off in 3 minutes. Appreciate y'all patience. All right, let's do it, Karen. Stop calling 12 on the neighborhood. They're all good people. Please like, share, subscribe, and we're going to get going in 3 minutes. Okay. Maybe not. I think Karen's on the phone. All righty. Let's see here. Share sound.
We are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
Is the truth, nothing more.
You on my frequency, you can't handle the truth. We're going to be talking about frequency here today. Tesla, Neil deGrasse Tyson, fascinating mind. All right, let's go. You can kill that, Karen. I appreciate you. Uh-oh. All right, y'all. We back in the building. Appreciate your patience with us. This is another edition of the Self Love Show. Do you understand? Do you understand? Self Love Show. Do you understand? All right, let's see if I can do this. Big ups to production.
Is irrelevant to the
Yeah, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, overstanding. We're going to talk to Brother Wordsmith about that later. Welcome to the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network, or as we say, TATN. This is a place where we explore captivating topics to expand our community's minds and ignite our curiosities. Okay, this Well, I'm one of the co-hosts, 9 Millie. All praise to my ancestors, the Most High, and of course, my late beloved Mama Sky. Big ups. Terrence Howard was born on 3/11/1969 in the Chi. That's right. In the Windy City. He's led a remarkable life. He was raised in Cleveland. He faced a tumultuous childhood marked by physical abuse from his dad. Despite these challenges, Howard's love for acting blossomed during summers spent with his great-grandma, New York stage actress Minnie Gentry. His journey from those difficult beginnings to becoming an Oscar-nominated actor is a testament to his resilience and great talent. Known for roles in movies like Crash, Ray, Iron Man, he's recently captured attention with some rather, quote, unconventional musings, end quote, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson. From deep dives into geometry, ancient philosophy, and quantum physics to claims about discovering new wave conjugations. Okay. We're going to make it make sense, we promise. Howard's mind is a fascinating blend of creativity and curiosity. But is he a madman or a genius? The Wright brothers were wrong before they were right. So let's explore the enigma that is Terrence Howard. It's going to be a thought-provoking ride. This is the Self Love Show, and this is the revolution. The revolution will not be on YouTube. These are lessons. These are not lectures. We're live in living color. Today is Tuesday, June 4, 2024, at approximately 7:43 at the Heezy. And as always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous universe, but thankfully, we all, Scooter, chose to be here together. Big up, Scooter. Here together. Chi-town, bear down, what down, bear down, brother Wordsmith. What you manifesting today?
Love, man. You know me, manifesting love. What you manifest?
Ditto. Pure, magnificent, unfettered, unfiltered. Some say tough, others say harsh, but I can assure you, it's love, self-love, just the same, good brother.
No doubt, no.
Hey, what's been going on in your neck of the America since we last promoted the land of your forefathers?
Get some time. My brother came to town. Get good. Left on the weekend. And last night, my son, man, he's in town. So happy. So looking forward to spending time with him.
Yeah, your sound is compressed. It's distorting. But
What?
yeah, like if you just go back and listen to it, you'll see what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, I made out what you said, and that's big ups. Hey, did I miss Father's Day, man?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's sometime in June.
Okay. Might be this weekend, no?
No.
Oh, okay. Huh?
So that would have been cool.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So, yeah. What to expect?
1-2. It should be much better now.
Yeah, it's much better now. That's what I was saying in the pregame.
I don't know why it switched, because it switched after pregame.
No, it didn't. That's what I was telling you. You were saying, yeah, my mouth be moving and I'm not blah, blah, blah. And I was telling you, it didn't sound like this. We wouldn't have had that whole conversation. But it sounds much better now. That's the important thing. So we'll make sure it's like this. You know what I mean? That sounds great. All right. So we got the Self Love Show quote of the day. We have our more growth and development video. We've got our tattoo tyranny, dome teaser, and then today's topic is Terrence Howard, madman or genius. We're gonna unpack that. And we're going to do our very best in using God's infinite wisdom to unpack this and make it make sense for everyone. This is a 3-part series. So big ups, fair use. Big ups to Joe Rogan. We're going to be ripping some of this content, sound only, the spirit of fair use. Let's see if we can't get away with it. All right. Please like, smash, like, share, subscribe, and smash that like button, whatever. And we always wrap it up with my favorite part of the whole shebang, and that's where Brother Wordsmith's going to go ahead and summarize everything, wrap it up in a metaphysical bun off the top of his dome week after week. So definitely don't want to miss that. All right, bro, you got any announcements?
You already know. Ancestral echoes. Links in the chat. Get your tickets. I'm telling you. It's a glamping music festival extraordinaire. And it's going to be off the chain again and again and again. Lots of fun. Do yourself a favor. Come on out.
Nice. All right, and we're gonna have them in the building. They're gonna grace us with their presence next week. So definitely looking forward to that.
Oh, gonna be a great situation.
Facts and more facts. And you guys, so stop the violence. Let's go ahead and do that, and make sure you're getting your checkups and your physicals and stuff out there. It's going to be very important. So if there's anyone out there who's got any commentary, this is interactive as Brother Wordsmith, who's still on camera. Maybe he doesn't know who he is, but maybe he doesn't care. I didn't care if he don't care, but happens to me all the time.
This thing. It's tripping today. This damn computer.
It's been
swapping and doing all kinds of things.
Hey, did you drop your computer? I was asking Ace that, because I told him, man, they on your ass too. Ace be going hard on the internet. He went on a rant about those ish people, bro.
Oh
yeah, they've been on his ass ever since. He used every word in the algorithm. I saw some graffiti though, Self. It's already happening. It said F the algorithm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's already happening. It's like that movie They Live. If you haven't watched They Live, you guys, do yourself a big favor and watch They Live. If nothing else, you're going to see one of the best fight scenes that you ever seen in your life. The pink man wins in the end, but I don't know.
It's a great documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary, man. Yeah. Man, if they remade that with today's technology, they probably ruin it, though.
They'd have to ruin it.
Yeah, they probably ruin it. Who would you cast? I don't know. We'll think about it later. Great film. All right. Yeah, so it's interactive. So that's what we want to know. Please do interact. The algorithm, speaking of the algorithm, it really loves more so than the likes, the comments. Loves the comments, see, because you can get a farm out there in India and farm your views. But it's tough to farm those comments. And then when they see those comments, they know, oh, no American wrote that. No human wrote that. But enough of my nonsense. Turn it over to this fella so he can handle his business.
Yes, y'all. Don't stop. Self Love Show rocks on. And as I stated prior, or Nine stated, we're unpacking Terrence Howard. Madman or genius. As always, we have a very important video for you to watch. The Silverback More Growth and Development platform, which we are building the Self Love Nation off of. As always, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. And every person we meet, there's this little piece of God in them. And that's who you talk to. And that's the only person that you allow to talk to you. When something else is speaking, you walk away from that. If it's not good, if it's not love, you walk away from it.
I was saying that in 1986.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
once again, in every person we meet, there's a little piece of God in them. And that's who you talk to. And that's the only person that you allow to talk to you. When something else is speaking, you walk away from that. If it's not good, if it's not love, you walk away from it. Terrence Howard.
Flesh.
And Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
We're closing the gap. And number 10 is protect our women, children, and selves by any and all means necessary, damn it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that quote self, I was ramming that back on the yard.
Yeah.
I've been telling people that. Remember, even when we left the yard, I was like, yeah, you just got to talk to these kids. Remember, I was saying you got to talk to the God in people. Remember, I said that? You talk to the God in them, everything's all right. 99 times out of 100. You know?
Facts.
Doesn't go that way, you know. I didn't always walk away, but you learn that as you get older, just, move away from it. But yeah, if you didn't catch last week's show, y'all, definitely. Oh, geez, you're starting this already. I mean, stepping all over the computer, messing up settings, that's what they do. All your protections, you step right on it and let the hackers right in, bro. Like, what can you do? But we were covering driverless whips. Are they being operated remotely like Amazon Fresh touchless tech? I'll tell you one thing. So that poll, no one, and most of our, I imagine, guests are copper colored. No one said they'd hop in and ride in one of those things.
Yeah, well, I mean,
today.
Yeah, well, they're not infallible, and they.
What do you mean? Could we just be not tech savvy? Like, maybe a high percentage of us were in LD classes due to the Board of Education's making wonton decisions.
You gotta wait till they get the goddamn kinks out of the goddamn thing.
All right.
It's killed some people.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I mean,
it's killed some people.
If you expect me to vote for the lesser of two, not you. If one expects me to vote for the lesser of two evils election after election, I should be able to play devil's advocate.
I hear you.
Same game.
It's killed some people, so that's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
It has. They don't talk about that though.
No, they don't talk about that at all.
Yeah, and they like to blame, the human every time. It's always the human's fault. It's not the human who programmed it,
man.
Or All right. But speaking of poll question, y'all, there's one up right now on the channel. Interesting results so far. I'd like to say it's shocking because when I compare our results compared to what's going on Rogan's channel, with all those smart, drop dead gorgeous people, who tend to watch his channel, they're smart, college educated stuff. They got a lot of snarky comments about this brother, bro. Like they be going,
they've been trying to do that ever since he started talking about this, and they don't want him to succeed. Like he said in the interview, Time Magazine told Joe Rogan that he's on something and he's got, it's something there, but his article showed utter disrespect.
Did it?
Yeah. Said it was coming from a disrespectful place and saying that he's dangerous. But he personally told Joe Rogan that, yeah, he's on to something. He's,
Well, they said Morpheus was dangerous in the Matrix. That was a documentary too.
yeah. And he was. To the system.
Correct. And anyone who loves the system
Yes.
needs the system. All right, y'all. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's move on. Today's topic is Terrence Howard, madman or genius? Unpacked. This is part 1 of a 3-part series. We're not going to do it week after week, but we will get it done over the next 2 months, we promise. We're going to make it make sense. Glory to God. Also, please take this time to do that. Go into the community page on TATN and respond to that poll question. And you can thumbs it up and also put comments. We want to get that out there and get the people's opinions. Interesting results so far, which we'll discuss at the end of the whole shebang. But yeah, bro, did you see? We like to show our government, right? What's this segment called? I can't think. Oh, tyranny, tattoo tyranny. But sometimes we like to show our government when they're not. Being tyrannical, right? We've done that here. People don't believe us. So we got 12 locked in on love. Did you see that video?
Uh-oh. I'm pretty much unplugged and with your creative
Big ups to
titling.
CBS 8. Big ups to CBS 8.
Here we go.
Fair use.
Okay. We're just gonna go to my car right here, okay? Follow me. Is this car right here? On the other side of my car.
All this is knowing you're on camera.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Well, I can't hear you now. Don't say that right now. I said don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now.
Genius.
What's going on?
Cut the body cam off. There's a GPS tracker.
Yeah. It must have.
Look at this idiot.
He's no Terrence Howard.
Locked in the back seat. Took an hour before 12 came and got him. But 12's busy. They don't have time for this. This guy got in the back seat. The fucking patrol car. I'd love to get him on the show. We give him a platform. We don't debate. Let him talk. Who are you thinking?
Oh my
here?
God.
Who are you thinking there?
Okay, hold on. Let me turn my camera off. She's code 4? She's code 4. Okay.
Hey, we can't have him on the show. It'd be hard for me to not troll him.
Man, bro.
The guy who fancies
You can
himself
stop
a
that.
male
He was getting
model
six
now
figures.
stands accused of a
Dude, this thing is tripping.
6 figures. So they let him voluntarily resign. I'm calling tyranny. Well, it was a little early, but the fact that, okay, he cut his camera off, the pig who pulled up, wait a minute, let me cut this off. What's the point of these cameras if they can just cut them off?
Yeah, well, it's not a whole lot of point to the cameras out there. It's not. They too many times the cameras aren't on.
I mean, they could just reach right up there and cut that thing off.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they say, well, they got to have some privacy when they go to the bathroom and this or that. You should have to call somebody to cut that thing off.
Or when you go in the bathroom, you leave that thing in your patrol vehicle, whatever, you know, and you go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That'd be the only time we as a community could expect, okay, that pig didn't have his camera on him. You know what I mean? You know, and at that point, you know, maybe that's it. I mean, of course they can lie and say I was on my way from the bathroom. Like, oh, it'll be a messed up thing. I don't know. Well, they can go in the bathroom. The camera's not pointing at anything sensitive, and we can redact that.
You're extremely right. But,
we can redact that.
The reasons why they say they should be able to cut them off. I think it's BS, but you know.
Well, I mean, could you imagine if they had cameras? I mean, that awful cop who was calling OJ all those names when they were rolling around, boy, if they had them cameras on, you could just hear that.
Ooh-wee.
Or if I could be a fly on the wall.
Ooh-wee.
Tyranny?
Oh, absolutely. No.
You're paying that guy to do that?
Yeah, I'm not, but somebody was.
He's actually San Diego, so it's actually my tax money. Yeah, going to that guy.
Son of bastard.
That's crazy. He didn't know that.
Don't say that. Right now.
He didn't know you couldn't open the that the doors didn't open.
He had to know. His ass was. He was a little too happy. Don't say that right now. Yeah, it's all being recorded.
Could have been cut the camera off if that's the case.
Yeah, he should have. You know, when she started saying that.
Yeah, before he said, "Don't say that." Yeah. Yeah.
He was picking her up on a warrant too.
The question is where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot more of that going on. But let's move on. Terrence Howard, Madman or Genius, Unpacked. This is part 1 of a 3-part series. You guys, let us know if you agree with us that that's tyranny. You can put a capital T in there, and if you like it, just put a pig in there. You type pig and a picture come up. If you like it, and you don't think what that was tyranny, type a pig in there, in a heart, since you love pigs. All right, yeah, dude. You're probably eating pork right now. Let's move on. It's a personal choice. I'm not judging. All right, pink crime out there, Self. Drop Dead Gorgeous Thor in theaters near you. Yeah? Have you seen the advertisements?
Not at all.
Yeah.
The guy who fancies himself a male model and now stands accused of a nightmare stabbing spree makes his first court appearance today. Authorities say 26-year-old Jared Ravizza attacked 3 sisters at a movie theater in Braintree, Massachusetts.
They're going to get him in jail.
The girls had gone to see the new family movie If, starring Ryan Reynolds.
Not going to ask you again. Put some pants on. You're freaking everyone out.
He came up behind them. My oldest was leaned over to get something. He got her in the back, and then my other daughter in the top chest, and then my last daughter across her arm.
Mom Lisa Dembowski says the suspect was laughing the whole time. Here's Allison Hall.
After the Memorial Day weekend movie theater rampage, cops say the suspect drove 30 miles and went on a stabbing spree at a McDonald's, attacking 2 workers.
You hadn't heard about this?
And that's not all. Prosecutors say they found the suspect's roommate slain here in this house in Deep River, Connecticut.
The roommate was identified as 70-year-old Bruce Feldman.
Don't matter, though.
In demonstrating his leaf-breaking invention.
There's absolutely nothing like it in the market.
Ravizza was taken into custody after crashing his Porsche at the end of a police chase. 2 of the girls stabbed in the movie theater are 9-year-old twins. Their sister is 17.
So you ain't heard about
the 4th girl who was stabbed is their friend.
They don't want to go to the movies ever again.
The 4 girls stabbed at the movie theater suffered non-life-threatening injuries and are expected to be okay.
If that was Pookie, you'd have heard about it. I don't care if you're on the internet or not.
Definitely.
If that was some sort of rich, affluent Pookie from the Chicago area, and he was in his dad's Porsche, or Porsche's dad's got him speeding around there, cutting those drop dead gorgeous kids, and I'm glad that, not seriously hurt. And then he murdered and went on a rampage. I hadn't heard about it either, so
That's crazy.
Thor.
Yeah. Was that TMC? Or no?
That was Inside Edition.
Inside Edition. Okay.
Yeah. Big ups. Yeah.
Yep.
It took them forever to pick it up. But yeah, that was Pink Crime, y'all. It happens. You know, it's not just Pookie and Ray Ray. Sometimes it's Dakota and you know what I mean? Ashley.
The laughing slasher.
Yeah, that guy, he thought it was funny. Yeah, but hey, he's gonna have a good time. They don't like those kind of time in jail. They don't like those kind of crimes against kids and stuff.
Stabbing in the back
at the movie theater.
Yeah, that's
not gonna be a good look in there. Yeah. You better cut your hair.
Don't think it's gonna
happen. All right, Terrence Howard. Is he a man? Is he a genius? We're gonna unpack that. But before we get there, we have a riddle, because your mind is an awful thing. If you waste it, if you're letting it lay fallow out there, it becomes the Satan's playpen. You know, so you might as well pump it positive things out there, or things you deem positive. All right, here we go. Today's riddle: what shape can't be straight, yet holds the secret of creation? What shape can't be straight, but yet holds the secret of creation? And it's been typed into the chat. And that was created by ChatGTP. This is the AI challenging the feeble mind of mankind. See if you guys' hive mind can't defeat this machine. And first off, let me say this. It was poorly constructed. So if you would have went in on the AI coming at you with this shit, oh, I know you. Yeah, you'd have had a long conversation. I don't have the time for it. I'm not gonna argue with an idiot. But I'll say this. I said, I'm gonna do it, you know, because they might get it. If you guys get it, I'm gonna be like, damn. All right. Enough of the appetizers out there.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right, Karen, we got a video. It's not necessarily a promo video, but it's a little teaser out there of Terrence Howard talking his rantings.
That's about 5.
What the?
It didn't play?
5 years old, I had another dream. The room filled up with like this dark fluid, and there was a being there. I was trying to look up at him, and I knew his voice, but I did not know who it was. He said to me, if you could have anything in the world, what would it be? Now, we were really poor, but I said to him, I want to know how everything works. He used his left hand and he opened up the door, and there was this mansion, big brown doors, and inside of it was this crystalline flowers. And every time I tried to see his face, he would reach in and hand me another shape. And I was so fascinated because they didn't look like the platonic solids that I woke up from that dream. After that moment, anytime something strange would happen in a dream, I had the powers of inception, and I would find that mansion again. And I had access to all the knowledge. The proof of it is the 97 patents that I have now. That voice that I heard, that's my voice now.
Yeah, he's been working on this. You kill that. He's been working.
This thing is tripping, bro.
He's been working on this for 30 years or something, he's saying. I got questions in boy. These are questions for the last show. Why now? Why is he bringing it up now? And we'll come across it maybe as we're going through it. But we're unpacking the first third of the Joe Rogan podcast today. And y'all know the purpose of the Self Love Show. It was born after George Floyd was savagely murdered, lynched in front of the world for 9 minutes. So that's where this particular podcast came from. So you guys got questions? George Floyd. We're going to refer to, because we don't answer questions generally. So we'll just refer. You got questions? Why y'all talking and call them pink people George Floyd? You know what I mean? Because that might be as George Floyd. Yeah, maybe I'll tell him that too. Yeah. Rest up, George Floyd. And so we're copper first, and that's and we're unapologetically copper first. All right, we're standing on the more growth and development platform. We're here to chronicle not history, not to drop dead gorgeous prestigious history full of lies. It's been chalked, chock full of lies. It's our story, our story. Yeah. Hey kids, pull out your our story book. You like that stuff? Giving away all our ideas.
It's much better than his story because
yes,
and it says his story, and that's exactly what it is because it's totally made up.
Yeah. Now my story almost sounds like mystery, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's this language. Some of it is word magic.
Yeah. And finally, it's a platform for us and to leave our voice for our progeny, those who come later. So hopefully that our story won't be distorted even further. So that's what we're doing. And today it's about my man, T. Howard. Is he a madman or a genius? We're going to unpack it. This is part one of a riveting 3-part series. So in this first part, we're going to be breaking down memory lane, his periodic table, his thoughts on the periodic table, wave function, magnetism, and gravity. You may have to put your 10 hats on. I don't know. Should they put the 10 hats on, Sal?
I don't think so. I mean, you have to look outside the box, though. I mean, it's you're gonna have to do that part. You're not gonna be able to use your mainstream thinking for this.
Well, I've been, and I think I'm one of the only people in the world who's watched the whole thing. Because I've been watching these big podcasters, and they'll sit down and they'll be like, we're covering it, and then I'll be asking questions, and I'll be like, they obviously didn't watch it. You know what I mean? I'll be like, they did not watch it, and they won't even come out there and say, I'm talking about white ones, black ones, all of them. They won't come out there and say, up front, I haven't watched the whole thing. You should at least say that.
Or if you haven't watched 1 second, you should say that as well.
Oh yeah, they be reacting. Yeah, yeah, and I'll be like, all right.
Wait a minute. He said this is what he says. I mean, I'm seeing 7, 8 interviews with him. He's saying the same thing, and you're acting shocked and surprised. Did you do any research?
All right. So his first memory, Brother Wordsmith talks about being in Theta, and we were discussing our first memories. I think I asked him what was his first memory some time ago, and he was like, man, said he can remember being like in the crib, like looking at the thing they put up above you. What do they call that thing? I don't know. Yeah, so I was sitting in there, and he remember people coming. And when you mentioned it, I do kind of got a glimpse of somebody come around there, and me feeling like climb out of here. I do kind of get flashes of that. Get that boy
I
down,
used to climb out of that thing. I didn't have a crib for very long.
Yeah, but I don't remember that little swing.
I crawled out, and I got back in.
So he self-loves memories, and he has this brother's always had a great recall, which I feel the same about Terrence Howard. That's what made me think about you when I was watching. I was like, maybe their ability to recall is why they can go so far back in Theta,
Yeah.
Because most people that I ask Self, and we got to start asking this when we're talking to guests, make this practical. What's your first memory? How were you, when you come out of Theta, but most of it is around my time. I've heard some people say later than 5. I'm like, damn, oh yeah, you'd have been in the slow classes at Ray. This kid's still in Theta. You can't put him in there. Eat him alive. You know what I mean? With the jokes and the savvy. Yeah. All right. But so I say that to say my first memory is around 5 or 6. 5. And my hand got slammed into the trunk and it was stuck in there. Got evidence of it.
That's pretty traumatic. So you're definitely gonna remember that out there.
Yeah, got a permanent little evidence of it out there. It was all my fault too. Yeah.
Well, you were 5. I mean, so
that's what I'm saying.
They've got to pay attention. They got to pay more attention.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You could have had your hand there and put your hand in there, but they got to be paying more attention. to the
Slam that
5-year-old. It
thing.
depends on who it was too. If
Slam.
Was it your brother or your
stepdad? Slam that.
Oh, oh,
station wagon.
No excuse out there.
Yeah, slam that thing.
That's his fault. That's not your fault out there.
Yeah. I remember a lot of beer cans around too, and I used to, there was strolls and slits, and I used to drink some of it. I do remember that. Like, this is horrible. All right, but that being said, we're gonna have Karen and you guys fair use. We're gonna jump into some of this content. Obviously, we're not gonna be able to play it all, and you guys let us know if we get kicked off.
Do you know how I've noticed that people don't get any issues? Speed it up. They speed up the video and they don't get dinged.
Yeah, and I've seen it where they just play sound and they don't get dinged. But if you play the video, then you know, like music, you can't play at all.
Right. Yeah, but the like interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you can play the video, just speed up the whole thing. You know, speed up the audio in it because it changes the tone and it's not exactly the trademark.
Yeah, it's true. Well, if we have to do that, we certainly will. Then we don't want that.
Oh man, I thought we was gonna get down.
You're flooded with like.
All right, we're gonna go his first memory.
How did you get started with all this?
I didn't come into this world the way everybody else does, I don't think. I used to think that everybody had the similar experience, but like if I asked you what was your first memory in life, what would it be?
I don't think I know.
My first memory was almost like when you're dreaming and you're falling and you hit the bottom and you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first memory, but I didn't wake up here. I was inside my mother's womb. And I was about maybe 6 months inside the womb. And I'm like, okay, don't forget I'm here. Okay. Don't forget. You go to sleep. You wake up again. Now something's moving in front of you. And you're like, oh, that's my friend. But I had a different name for it. I didn't know it was my hand.
What was the name? I wish you'd ask him what was the name. Let's stop it right here. This guy's never been in theta. And what he's suggesting is that he's been working on his wave conjugations in a previous life. And he was holding on to the memory. Don't forget. Fascinating.
Yeah. I think many of us don't forget. And you still end up forgetting, you know, because by the time you can talk, you know, you come out and you can't even talk, communicate it. And then the world tries to beat you down and then they tell you all these lies and make you go to school and reprogram you. And, you know, and it's kind of designed to not have all your memories anyway. But when you first get here, you still have memories of previous occasions.
You just can't
communicate at that point.
Can't even think. Like, what language are you thinking in? If you've never had theta, like, I feel like I'm thinking in English, but how was I thinking in English before I even learned how to speak English? But dogs can speak in every language. Go ahead. They can understand.
You're thinking in
the universal language.
Yes.
That the aliens communicate to us in, allegedly.
I don't know about that per se, but
it could
be allegedly.
They always say that the ones who claim they were abducted, bro, always say they were speaking telepathy, like they weren't moving because
it was telepathy, but it was in your language though.
I think it's the universal language. You're going to process it the same because you're just understanding the communication, but I think it's the universal language. Whatever that language is that you're thinking in before you learn English. What language is that? Images, colors, waves, frequencies.
Definitely frequency. Everything is frequency.
Sounds.
It's sound, but not necessarily vibrational because it's
the ticks and stuff.
Because the the telekinesis or the speaking without words, it's still vibration and you hear it, but you don't hear it with your outer ears. It reaches your brain, which knows how to decipher it.
What do you think the point of theta is? Without getting off topic, if he's
Programming.
never been in it,
Programming.
okay, go on.
It's programming you for this lifetime.
So you're just downloading a bunch of, you're getting all of the basic computer information. What do you call that? The computer language. That's when you're getting it, right?
Yeah. And, you know, depending on your environment is whether you're getting good programming or not so good. And to change after theta, you have to make a concerted effort because it's subconscious.
Deprogram and reprogram.
Yeah. It's subconsciously, it's subconscious. So you got to, I don't know how many days, how many weeks they say it is for you to change a habit.
So it's like if you had a computer with a virus in its basic operating system, the only thing you can do is zap out that whole operating system, right? The whole motherboard, and install a whole new operating system.
Well, you can upgrade.
Because it's a virus at its foundation.
Oh, the virus is, yeah, well. It's a way. That's why I really feel like this is assimilation, because the way it goes about just doesn't seem natural or make a whole lot of sense to me.
Okay. You were also saying that you had achieved hand-eye coordination better than your peers at an earlier age because you were younger and you were able to dribble the ball and do stuff. And people are like, oh, look what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're climbing up stuff and you're just doing stuff that's amazing. People at a super early age. So maybe you come out of theta, that means you were able to download. Some people were able to just download the operating system quicker. In his case, it was instant, right? And then that's why you see some kids, you're like, man, look at this kid in that little suit. He's like a little person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and they, you know, and they don't want you to baby talk them or nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, and they want to know all the answers. Yeah. You can't tell them no BS.
Well, they can tell me some BS because I, took his story for a long time to learn that it was his story and not what happened.
But I always told you, man, I wonder, it is what it is, but had your dad not been called home?
Ooh, man.
Because he'd have been able to level all that nonsense out.
Yes.
He'd have been pulling to the side like, look, you're drinking a lot of Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank God my mom did. So
yeah, but it's different coming from your dad.
It is, but
from both. You know what I mean? Now it's coming from both.
She heard me say something as ignorant as Farrakhan was racist, just listening to what
TV.
Everybody was saying about him.
Yeah.
She said, hey, no, I don't think you should think that way. You might need to look into him. He's very, very, very intelligent. And I was like, oh, I was really young. I didn't really know that he was on, down the street like that. I was just repeating what I'd heard.
Yeah. Then once you get into it, Farrakhan will tell you what, I can't be racist. You know what I mean? That lying devil, that bush. Yeah, big ups to Farrakhan, big ups.
Go back to sleep, all of those things.
Here we go.
Then ultimately you get ready to come out. I remember all of that.
You remember coming out?
Remember being compressed.
Remembers coming out.
You want to panic, but you're flooded with like some serotonin and dopamine.
It's hard to know if
where
he's
you feel
acting
relaxed.
or not
You go
because
right
he's
back
such
to
a good
sleep. I
thespian.
remember being born. I remember being circumcised.
He could be
I
a CIA
remember
plant.
The whole nine, and the proof of it was when my wife Mira, that you just met.
Yeah, we'll save these. Those are questions
when she was
for
6
after
months
we
pregnant with
do the
my
third.
son Kieran. I wanted to prove to her what I was talking about, so I put a light on her stomach every day at 6 o'clock at night, and I would move that light.
All right, we're gonna stop
back
it here, and
forth,
I'll go
I'd put a
further.
song.
Basically, he's saying And his son, I think, is high on the autism scale now, is extremely brilliant. And I think he pulled his son out of theta. Like when you be messing around, people be messing around with the kids in the belly. He said he had a, yeah, man.
Very interesting.
It is interesting.
And do it at the same time, and you follow the light and all of that. That was very, very interesting. That's, man.
Yeah. Ain't it
That's
interesting?
a concept. Yeah.
It is.
Very, very. That he even thought to do that.
Right. And the reason he thought to do that is because so we're all conscious to that level. He just recalls it.
Yes.
Same thing like you. You just started, you start recalling it earlier. Something happened in your, like, you were able to go back and it starts sticking into your, what am I looking for? Conscious memory.
Yeah.
You know, quicker.
And I'm able to, at times, dig into my subconscious. Like when people ask me questions and I can just answer them.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. I can, when I hear a question that's not mine, but I gotta, work on that. When I hear a question, something just reacts and I know the answer a lot of the times.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it's not 100%, but most of the time.
Yeah, but neither is Chat GTP, and you're getting it out of the ether.
Yeah.
Solids. They didn't look like anything I'd ever seen before. And he would hand me these shapes.
Okay, here we go.
I didn't have much, but I said to him.
Now he's talking about.
I want to know how everything. Have anything.
Right after this, we're going to talk about these solids.
Comfortable, and as we moved along this dark blue fluid.
This is what we played at the beginning.
There, and then when I was about 5 years old.
5. Here we go, Sal. Here's when I was out of
another dream, and the room filled up with like this fluid, a dark fluid,
water,
and I could see the ripples of it moving around,
waves,
and there was a being there, and I remember being walked through that fluid with him, and I was trying to look up at him, and I couldn't turn my head to look at him, and he had his hand straight. I knew his voice, but I did not know who it was, but I felt confident and comfortable, and as we moved along this dark blue fluid path with like chartreuse covering the, you know how when you look into a pool and you see the ripples, and if you're at the bottom of the pool, you see the ripples overlapping. That's what it looked like. And then when we got to the end of it, he said to me, if you could have anything in the world, what would it be? Now, we were really poor. My dad had just gotten out of prison.
This is the self-love time machine question.
Yeah.
For manslaughter. I didn't have much, but I said to him, I want to know how everything works. And at that moment, he used his left hand and he opened up the door. And there was this mansion, big brown doors. And inside of it was this crystalline flowers, big crystalline flowers, like a giant, like 5 feet across. And every time I tried to see his face, he would reach in and hand me another shape.
That's a dream for you.
And I was so fascinated with the shapes because they didn't look like the platonic solids. They didn't look like anything I'd ever seen before. And he would hand me these shapes, and each shape was different and amazing. And
he's showing you his face with all those different fractals. He's showing you his face. Do you know what I mean? And you're trying to look, and you're trying to see the way we look here, but he's showing you. And I've been saying it, so I feel like it says in the Bible, like, Moses, if I show you my face, surely you'll die. So if you turn around, you look, man, this whole matrix is you created it. It's a conundrum. It's one of those things that'll shut your program down.
That the whole, your viability in the system. It'd be like the system, you see the whole thing for what it is.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, I can't participate in this, and I don't even have to participate anymore. So,
Yeah. It's why The Matrix, it's funny, that series, the movie, and they were explaining why it ultimately stopped working. Like once Neo was, like, to your point,
Right.
knew who he was and had all of that, it was just like, okay, I mean, what are they doing? What are they fighting for? It's all a waste of time. We know what's going to happen in the end, so great film though, for anybody who hadn't seen it.
So they reset it.
Exactly. So then they'll reset it. Yeah. Until you remember again.
Woke up from that dream. But after that moment, anytime something strange would happen in a dream, I had the powers of inception.
That's huge.
Anytime I would be naked at school, I would say, I'm not naked. I must be dreaming. And immediately I would run out of the school or run out of wherever I was, and I would find that mansion again. And I had access to all the knowledge. Man. The proof of it is the 97 patents that I have now. The proof of it is the industries that I've innovated. It's like waking up, having a dream that you have a diamond in your hand, and out of nowhere, you wake up and you're hoping you're holding it, and you try and hold it, and it's gone when you wake up.
A little bit further, we're going to get to his platonic solids.
Coming from the sun.
So we're going to talk about the platonic solids. It's everything they were ramming in you in geometry. And a lot of people got it right away. For me, they had to ram that to me because I couldn't figure it out. Then eventually I got it.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first. I was like,
yeah,
this doesn't make any sense. All this other stuff I know.
Yeah.
What is this?
It didn't feel natural.
Why are you calling it math?
Yeah. The Pythagorean theorem, and all of that. Like, what's the point of all this?
Yeah, it's very necessary to be able to measure things.
Okay.
Angles
in that
and
base,
such.
Yeah.
It turned out it was important.
Yeah, but we could have.
If you dealing in math or things that need
if you're
if
you're dealing in straight lines and boxes and flat construction, like that's what you want, then yeah, that matters. But if you're gonna go into this universe that this guy's talking about, and other people, it's not just him, even the Native Americans, they didn't live in boxes. Everything was curved. Everything. That's why, like when the tornadoes came, their stuff didn't get blown away. Stuff like that. So a lot going on.
To take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create.
So we're talking about the periodic
their
table.
color. Like you can turn color back into sound.
Let me go back a little bit, bro, because I need you on this.
The periodic table they have now.
Let's see.
It looks like a box. It looks like a straight box.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't show the relationship that between every element, there's two
All right, here's the periodic table.
Damn.
You'll see hydrogen sitting all the way over there by itself.
I think I am going to show it. Well, you know how the table of elements is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, let's play it out
show
then.
That hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E. Same key of E. 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz. You go to silicon, it will double up.
Einstein said it too. That's why he played music and shit.
It would be 162 hertz. You'll go to cobalt, and it'll be 324 hertz.
It's like the next octave.
In that base, if you were to take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, their color. Like you can turn color back into sound based upon.
That's fucking crazy. This would have been a hell of a fucking science fair project at William H. Ray School. He would have either went off to lab. They'd have been like, we got to get you away from guys like, Tony Mills. He'd fuck you up. Or they'd have put him in the, they'd have gave him a hearing aid.
Yeah, and put him in the lower classes and
got him away from the kids they were training for upper to lower management.
Yeah.
And he did it based
put him in the class to prison or the crazy house.
And when you say rebuild the periodic table, what do you mean specifically?
Or
the way the periodic table is laid out, the periodic table they have now.
Let's see.
It looks like a box.
They took ether off the periodic table.
Yeah.
And
70s.
they don't show the relation.
Did they?
Yeah.
In the 70s, bro?
Yeah, it was like right before we went to school. I think it was 72 or something like that.
Wow.
Not ether. Is it? No, ether's on there.
Ether's not on the periodic table.
No, it's not ether though. Not ether. It's
relationship that between every element, there's two no.
All right, here's the periodic table.
You'll see hydrogen sitting all the way over there by itself, but they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E. Same key of E. 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz.
What do they say, Self? In the beginning, there was the word.
Yeah.
You go to silicone,
it's a
it
vibration.
would double up and would be 162 hertz. You'll go to
and then it
cobalt,
said, let there be light, and light is a vibration.
It'll be 324 hertz. It's, in that base, if you were to take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, their color, like you can turn color back into sound based upon, it's the same wavelength, it's just twice as long or much longer. So all you have to do is keep dividing light by 2.
Keep that up, Jimmy.
You keep dividing light by 2, and you'll ultimately get back to the audible sound of it, because there was a relationship between light and color, sound and tone, matter and shape. I put, I sent
some of it is not. So what are you saying? Can you? Because when his table he came up with, somebody else before him had really designed it, and he tweaked it, and it looks like DNA.
Yeah, I mean, it
looks like DNA.
I swear, that's why I feel like this is a simulation, because all of this stuff goes back to that. And Dinkra codes are what we use to surf the internet. Like, so they have all the information in those codes. So, same thing in all his science. And what he's supposing, I don't know if we should go there, but he's supposing that they gave us this false information to hold us at a certain level.
Yes, that's his theory, and that's why they're holding them down. So, he's saying that they laid out the periodic table. Y'all know how it's flat, and he's saying it should be more in a relationship. He's saying that they're okay. Basically, what they've done in the periodic table self is they separated Brother Wordsmith at 5 years old. There's Brother Wordsmith at 5, and they called him hydrogen. And then when Brother Wordsmith turned 6, they called him oxygen. And then when he turned 7, they label him something else. And when he turned 100, they label him another element. And what he's saying is that it's all connected, right? And as you move along the frequency or the wave, it's one. That's basically what he's saying. He's saying we're thinking too linearly.
Yeah, and it's not linear, and they're basically the same tone. They're just in a different octave.
Correct. Correct. And that blew my mind though when he started talking about how it turns to color.
It's frequency, so that's
what color is, huh?
All of it. Everything is frequency and vibration. Everything is. So
comes a
sound,
Tesla said it.
Light, sound, light.
Yeah.
They're very similar. Sound is more compacted, more heavy than light.
So it's more compressed.
Yeah.
More dense.
Yes.
Okay. Light's more, the electrons are more faster, more open, more space, more feathery.
Yeah, definitely less dense because sound and then matter, so-called matter, is way more dense than sound. It's still vibration. It's still a frequency. So,
but the black hole. Well, we'll get
it's
there.
never. That's a theory.
Yeah, because I don't think he believes in black holes. There was certain things he pissed Rogan off. I ain't gonna say he pissed Rogan off, but Rogan just disagreed with him. Yeah,
right. Because Rogan drinks Kool-Aid in a lot of ways, but
yeah,
certain stuff he drinks gets full
yeah,
Kool-Aid, and other stuff he's kind of open to. But some stuff, no, not at all.
All right, so we're about to get into no straight lines and platonic solids, and then his talk of magnetism. And you guys looked at me in Self Love like we were crazy when we told you guys we don't believe in gravity. We're getting to that very shortly. And I thought he was one of the best guys to break that down.
Yeah.
And then how they started making up shit to fit gravity.
With titanium,
instead of just saying they were
vanadium,
wrong.
and chromium. And on the other side, it's like I said, if you wrap the rag around your hand, the first wrap, really tight. You can't get much out of it. Second wrap, you damn near can't see the difference of it. Third one, you start seeing hydrogen.
Yeah, that's
the
what
fourth wrap, you
so
see
you understand
carbon.
this analogy?
Yeah.
Like you're wrapping an ace bandage around your I was trying to call
it's twist. Well, it's the same thing as it's in a different octave. Every rap is a different octave. So it's the same base frequency. So if it's let's just for sake of simplicity.
Got you. After 100 raps, it's gonna look totally different from 2 raps.
Yeah, but it's still gonna be in the same family. It's gonna still be same. It's gonna
Essence.
be over the same spot. So
wow.
you rap once, it's there. When you rap again, it's just a layer up, but it's still at that spot.
Always.
Yeah, all the way up. 100, it'll still be at the same spot, but 100 layers up.
But in between each one of them, by the time you get, nature does not allow us in the silicone octave for there to expand out. But there is the same titanium, vanadium, chromium, magnesium, and iron that exists between aluminum and silicone. But nature doesn't allow us to unravel that. But now with the wave conjugations, we can. We couldn't do that before because we didn't know the angles of incidence that were necessary to open these things up. And you couldn't do that with the platonic solids because the platonic solids were averages and approximations. They, like I've said a number of times, you show me a real straight line in nature. If everything in the universe, everything is expressed in motion, all motion expressed in waves,
well, okay.
all waves were curved.
He keeps saying that.
Every
There's no
action
straight
has
line in
equal and
nature.
opposite.
And there isn't.
Yeah,
and
that's absolute fact.
And which it's a hell of a philosophical thing to say. And then yet we build everything with using these straight lines. You know, even water doesn't like the way the pipe system is, and it cuts off in a straight line. You know what I mean? Like,
well, even our perception of straight lines is just an illusion.
Oh, absolutely. Under an electron microscope, it's jagged edges.
I mean, it's a wave.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. So I mean, the fact
why
that everything's
doesn't
a
a
wave,
straight line? Why can't it? Why? That's what I'm trying to wrap my mind. Why doesn't it exist? Would the straight line be satanic? Would it be? Would it like? Would it be plastic? What would it be like?
The nature of everything in this universe is expressed in frequency and waves
and curvature.
I mean, all waves are curved. All waves are curved. There are no straight waves.
You look at the horizon; it's curved. Well, it appears to be curved.
No, it's curved because I mean, we perceive straight lines, but the straight lines we perceive, our perception is not correct.
That's crazy, bro.
I mean, but if you think about it,
why would there be a universe with no straight lines if everything is possible?
We could only hear between certain frequency,
right,
low and high. We can only see in certain frequencies, and we can't see above them, or above that thing or below the level that we can see. Why would our perception not be limited?
Yeah. Well, all right. So if everything is possible, why is there not one straight line? That's what I find fascinating.
Because everything's not possible. It's not possible to have a straight line.
So why come up with that? Now, according to him, it's because they were stuck on that the world is flat. And of course, you may be a flat earther. I don't know, but according to him, though, he's saying that the church, made them that like they all had to make it fit.
Well, he also said that the beings that seeded us, changed our DNA. They limited our ability to transform better than them by giving us some false pretenses in the mathematics.
I believe it.
Yeah. So it's he says 1 times 1 is 2, because you can't have something and get nothing out of it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get there. But you're right. We're gonna get there. That's gonna be part of this discourse. Yeah. But yeah, he does say that, and it's interesting. And I always ask why, and that's what I'm going to be asking throughout this series. I mean, it's pretty diabolical, bro. And you're saying and he's saying okay, and others have said we're getting misinformation, and I've heard religious people say, well, that's it's demonic, and like the jinn, even with the Islam, they talk about the jinn, bro, and yeah, and they're gonna give you some information, but they're gonna give you a lot of misinformation. Sounds a lot like the spooks.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's how our science has been. It seems.
Well,
we got plastic all over the world that
Yeah, I mean, some of these beings that seeded us go from world to world, different spots on this plane, and wreak havoc, use up all the resources, and move on. And to a certain degree, they seem to be
like
running
us,
the world's government.
Sounds like us, though.
They do all kinds of fuckery, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and it sounds like mankind. Keep talking about, and we're using up all our resources and we're destroying this planet, and so that's why we got to go seed Mars. It's like, well, why? How about stop, destroying this house? How about that?
Yeah, well, there's a group of beings that run this place that don't give a rat's ass about it.
But why did they teach us about these straight lines? The straight line is 180 degrees. I mean, 300. What the circle is 360 degrees. The straight line is 180 degrees. The right angle is 90 degrees, and and so forth and so on.
To limit us, for limitation.
To get us away from the flower of life.
Yes. And that's why Da Vinci and Newton and all them couldn't solve it.
And most times you die before you can figure this out. And somehow, allegedly, according to him, he was able to somehow maintain.
And also, they put a limitation on us at some point where we don't live 900 years.
Right.
Or thousands of years.
Well, you don't believe that. You don't believe Methuselah lived. You don't believe that, do you?
Well, I don't know if it's Methuselah.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, I believe beings lived far longer than the Bible's been around. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I concur.
So, but there was a limitation put on these vehicles, and don't live as long. And then they do everything to ruin the earth and the food and air, so we live even shorter.
Facts.
You know, and back in the day, to go to university was, you know, you're there 25 years or so to learn a subject.
Yeah, I was at the dentist and they all like, oh yeah, you need fluorine in your water. Drink about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't fight with them because then we got one who can see. I do enough yapping on the internet. They're just
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got them. You gonna give me a prescription? Yeah, give me a prescription for the fluorine, so
Is it a pill?
I can
You
put
got
it the fluoride. I can put it right on in
you
there.
got a fluoride pill?
I can. You want me to put it on my teeth?
The mirror shapes, the all shapes.
All right, here we go.
And that was because of a mistake that was made 6,000 years ago, maybe.
You just talking about
They took the flower of life, which was that symbol. If you could go to my book, tcotlc.com.
I'm gonna have to get that.
There's an example that I put in there on page 64. And I show the period, I show the element.
He's meticulous.
Fundamental.
Yes, he is.
If you could possibly pull that up, Jamie.
And the numbers he knows.
At tcotlc.com.
That loop.
You'll see in there the mistake that they made because they believed in straight lines. Because the church
I think he's
was
on the
promoting
autism scale.
the idea of straight lines. Yeah, just tap on right below there. There's download. No, just go to the center of the page, and right above that,
Man housing by proxy
and you see
syndrome.
initial public draft. Just tap on it.
No, I mean,
And if you
it's
go to page
possible
60
because
Munchausen. Go ahead.
Anyone who can focus in on something so much, they are like on you know.
So when you say I
scale.
solve the riddle of the universe, like when you say that, and you don't be saying like for glory to God, when you say that with a straight face, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, dude, like that's a lot. It's a lot to process. But if he did, what is he supposed to say?
I mean, yeah. It's the flower of life, and all these people say, and he said that he solved it. I mean, somebody has to.
Well, they were looking at it on a flat plane, and so was I.
Period.
I'm guilty of it. They showed me the flower of life on that flat plane, and that's all I could conceptualize.
Yeah.
And I never thought about. And you remember looking at bubbles when you were a kid, and you should blow the bubbles, and they fascinated you. And that's what happened to him. And he said he looked at the flower of life, you know, in the curvature, in the 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
Said,
that's why he was saying earlier that the being was handing him shapes.
Yeah. And those
all
none
the
of
shapes
them,
of the
but it wasn't cubes. None of them had those straight lines.
Oh, hell no. And all of them are those the flower of life. I'm
Correct.
almost certain that he was showing him
the space in between.
Yeah, the shape of it.
Yeah.
So it was a 3-dimensional shape. It wasn't no flat, straight line shape.
Correct. It's 3 dimensions, but
and
then
no
when you
flat lines.
Right, because
no
the flower
straight lines. Pardon
me. Yeah. Because the flower of life is it's circles, concentric circles that you're connecting. So he looked at it, instead of looking at flat circles, he said, what if I'm connecting bubbles? And so he's saying that that's how the universe is built. And he's saying even with a bubble, it's solid, it has form, but it has nothing inside it, which is what you were just explaining about certain solids. And that was revealed to him, by himself, basically.
Yeah, really.
Right. And so if you can imagine yourself, these bubbles, instead of flat circles, like the way you're looking at the flower of life, it's a bubble. It's a 3-dimensional circle.
Yeah.
It's what it should be. And then you start connecting them like that. And then, yes, now you're looking at that negative space in between it all, which his contention is that's the ether, and that's the thread of everything.
Yeah. Ether. Is it ether?
Yeah, he likes ether.
4.
He likes ether.
On the right side of the page, right
He likes
there,
Alan
on the
Watts
left
too.
side of
We
the
talked
page,
about
you'll
that
see
too.
the 5 platonic solids.
But we're about to go to
Now,
break.
these, all of our axioms, all of our postulates have been built off of these things. This is what Euclid went down to Egypt and pulled these things together. Pythagoras worked on them. And these were the undisputed fundamentals of God that he used to build. If you tap onto the Flower of Life, Platonic Solids things, it's going to take you to a video. Turn it, don't have to have it. But it'll show you
they can't see this,
the Flower of Life.
Let me,
that they took this from. But you'll see that instead of following the natural curvature of these 64 of the page, and right above that, and right there on the left side of the page, you'll see the 5 platonic solids. Now these, all of our axioms, all of our postulates have been built off of these things.
To me
this is
at
what
grade
Euclid
school.
went down to,
I spent so much time on this
Egypt
shit.
and pulled these things together.
Eisenhower.
Pythagoras worked on them, and these were the undisputed fundamentals of God that he used to build.
Yeah.
If you tap onto the Flower of Life, Platonic Solids things, it's going to take you to a video. Turn it, don't have to have it. But it'll show you
This would have blown my mind.
the Flower of Life that they took this from. But you'll see that instead of following the natural curvature of these 64 circles overlapping, they averaged the space where they met.
Lazy.
And they invented straight lines.
Why did they do that?
Because they believed that the world was flat. They believed the world was flat at the time. And the church promoted. Pythagorean theorem comes off of this cube, a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
So they wanted to use all of these intertwining circles and create straight lines.
Because that's how they thought everything came down to, straight lines.
Yeah.
They thought the world was flat. And I was like, oh my goodness. They didn't open the flower properly. So the next one would be the icosahedron.
Now, the Flower of Life, it's very, very old. The concept is
Joe
very
Rogan
old.
can't
What was the origin of the concept?
It's the oldest symbol known to mankind. It's believed that it was Anki, the brother of Enlil, if you go by the Emerald
Sumerian
tablets.
text.
Yeah, the Sumerian text, that was the one that created mankind. Because if you look at mankind, and there's a point I want to make with it. I want you to stay on the book, go back to go to 134 on the book. And this is what that other gentleman being told me to do. He said, why don't you just take the pieces that make up the flower and put them together based on universal ratios. So once you're able to pull it up.
That was a key what you
page
just said right there.
134.
Yeah.
134 in the book. So this is the juxtapose of the mistake they made. Yep, just tap right onto that. Yep, just tap on it. Now, this was made by David Johnson, one of our programmers, Argos Fuel. So if you go to the far left and tap on that, I took 4 of those triangles.
Look at that.
And wow. And you can scroll around. This is what happens when 4 bubbles meet. This is the negative space where they can't touch each other. This is hydrogen. And as I was saying, electricity is always trying to get to the center of that triangle, but it gets pushed out. And now you see it.
All right. So basically, Self, he's about electricity and magnetism versus gravity. He's saying that what Newton and these guys have decided was electricity. And it's something I said about the universe. I said it's breathing, as above, so below. If they were saying a Big Bang went out, I'm like, it's going to start contracting again. Into perpetuity. But he's saying electricity, that gravity is just electricity. And he's saying that electricity and magnetism are like opposing forces.
Yeah.
When you breathe in, that's like an electricity. And when you breathe out, that would be magnetism, because it's going to, I guess, create a different type of wave energy.
He also showed like how they are connected. Like when you see that can't think of what it's called. It's the round thing and it's got magnetism on one side and electricity on the other side. It shows that they are equal and opposing forces in this duplicity that we live in.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Let me see. I thought I had marked
That's
it.
why equal and opposite has to exist. And that's also why I feel like this is a simulation.
Yeah, and equal and opposite has to exist.
Inside of there, but this is the negative space where
But there is no
bubbles move.
nothing.
But you'll notice it has 8 contractive poles, but it only has 6 magnetic
There is
poles,
no
6
nothing.
vortices, so it has a greater electrical potential than a repulsion. So maybe this is the strong nuclear force, and the previous one was the weak nuclear force. So I was like, okay. I called this the Huntian after my son. So I was like, what happens when 6 bubbles meet? If you'll go to the one right in the center.
We'll come back to this.
Just take the pieces that make up the. Now, this was made by David Johnson, one of
I
our
had
programs
marked
where
where
they
he
began.
talking about.
134 in the book.
It'll probably come up later.
That's where they began.
All right, Karen, let's
Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is what we represent.
all right.
It's the Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. We do
Do
it for
it.
our people.
That's right. I don't know what we do it for.
It's the Self Love Show. To expose they don't equal. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show.
Toby Wordsmith 9 Mills.
The Self Love Show.
You know how the story go. It's the Self Love Show. And y'all know what time it is. Broke down some precepts of the concepts that we're going to explore in the second half. We've got some great videos to edutain you. And we'll be back in just a few. So come on back with us. Or, yep, be here when we come back.
You think his message would be received differently if he wasn't an actor and he wasn't black?
Absolutely.
Brother,
I'm wiping it though. I'm gonna wipe it. I'm gonna wipe it. I'm gonna say, hey.
Tori's oldest brother. Between us, Tori made me at Beta, and so he just wanted to say a few words before we let you go here.
Okay. Yeah,
Brother Thomas, thank you so much for gracing us with your appearance, man. Grateful. You expanded our nation beyond belief. It's just a wonderful thing. And we would like to present you with the Self Love Show first annual Ernest Lee Thomas Achievement Award.
Oh man.
It's apropos that you are the first recipient.
And Nope, we call it the Raj.
We're gonna call it the Raj.
Oh, I love it. Oh man.
Yeah, so we have it on order. So it's gonna come here. We're gonna show it to the show, and then myself or Tasia deliver it to you or ship it to you from there.
Thank you, brother.
Brothers and sisters, people and human beings alike. It's one thing to talk about doing something, and it's another thing to get down to nitty-gritty and do it. If we want to do it, if we want to feel the vibrations in our soul, if we want to know where we're going as human beings, if you want to dance, if you want to feel the music of a revolutionary struggle in the framework of what we're talking about, every creative variability that exists with human beings on the face of this earth is the essence of the music that sparks our spirit, that sparks our philosophical outlook when we speak in terms of humanism and in fact implement that humanism.
Moses fleeing the people from Pharaoh.
Right, let my people go.
40 years in a desert.
Manna.
Let's talk about what manna truly is. And
Shaganoski's in the Middle East right now saying manna is Peter.
can we put some sensibility to that? being in the desert, and our Father, the Creator, loves us beyond. He's gonna rain down bread in a desert. Moses summoned the strongest men for them to dig, and that's where the whole term of so it is above, so it is what?
Below.
That means that Moses had the science for them to dig and find water.
Yeah, like the elephants can do.
So what do you find, even in the desert, when you dig down and find water? Do you find bread or do you find plants?
Has human ever walked on the moon?
Yes.
Have you ever seen an unidentified flying object?
Yes.
Is human alone in the universe?
No.
Is there a God?
Yes.
Self Love, your ship, has a magic box. Now suppose the person whom you can't fathom living without became terminally ill with a rare blood disease. Now what if Self Love, your ship, provided you with a magic box? On that box, there's a button on the top. Self Love, your ship, my club says, if you push this button, ship, your loved one will be totally healed. However, by pushing the button, an innocent person whom you do not know will certainly die. Do you push the button?
Yes.
You push the button? All right.
Yes.
What's the meaning of life?
It's simply to glorify God.
You want to do an analysis looking at all the income that's being brought in by the property, less all the operating expenses, and whatever the seller's charging for that. You take the net operating income divided by the sale price, and that's going to give you what's called a cap rate. If you're buying building A and it has a 6% cap rate, and then the building across the street sold earlier in the year for a 7% cap rate, then you're probably not making the right decision in buying it because it's not kicking off enough net operating income. So cap rate is a comparative measure used by commercial real estate investors to determine if they're buying at the right price.
And so any kids out there, when he says cap rate, he's not talking about the rate of lies you tell. All right. This is no cap here, so everybody knows.
Man, thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you. Great format, very solid. You know, it don't have that low budget movie feel. You know what I'm saying? And we get that a lot in the Black community, for real.
Yeah.
Like people look at us to be fuck ups. They look at us to be low budget. They look at us to be ignorant, stuttering, and use a whole bunch of and all of that. But no, they got the real deal on here. That everybody know who Torian Mills is, baby. They know.
Hey, well, bro.
They're so ignorant.
Hey, but this platform's your platform. This platform's my platform. From Inglewood, California to
the
Chicago,
South Shore.
Crazy thing about it.
This platform is
made for you and me.
It's made for you.
The crazy and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I was trying to get out the end of the preamble, but go ahead, bro.
Whew, this thing is tripping. Gotta push 3-4 times. But y'all know how the story go. It's the Self Love Show.
It's the Self Love Show. To expose they don't equal the Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show.
Tory Wordsmith, 9 Mills.
The Self Love Show. You know
How the story go. It's the Self Love Show. Yo, we're back. Some excellent videos, weren't they? Most definitely. So we're back. We're going to expound on Terrence Howard, Madman or Genius, Unpacked.
It's the Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. The Self Love Show. We do it for our people.
Understanding.
It's the Self Love Show. It's the Self Love Show.
All right.
They don't equal the Self Love Show. The Self Love
All right, so your boy, I don't want to call him, well, not your boy, but I don't want to call him a mainstream science plant or shill.
Oh,
because he's copper colored. He looks like it.
Yeah, but he's not for the team.
All
He's not
skin
a-
folk ain't kin folk.
Yeah, he's not the team member.
All right. Well, you guys know how we feel. We'll let you know how Terrence is going to let you know how he feels. So fair use, you guys.
Fair use.
But I agree with you, man. This computer's tweaking.
Man, like for real. I'm hitting the button like 3 times.
The way it's acting is the reason why I won't ride in self-driving cars.
They get all the bugs
If
out.
you'll pop it up,
You ain't
from
killing me.
Terry's linchpins.
You know what I mean? If they could do this now to mess with you,
Yeah,
you can be
they
in
could
one of those
definitely.
cars, self. You go
Yeah.
right over the road.
Yeah,
he was in
crash right into an 18-wheeler. That's also driven mechanically,
and then blame you. Yeah,
Yeah.
he went in there and overrode it and hacked it and did something he wasn't doing. He did it. Yeah. And the sheep where the food at? Where the food?
Yeah. Going right on to
You'll
slaughter.
see, and this was one of 4 supersymmetrical systems that I patented. And the reason
Neil
I
deGrasse
patented it
Tyson.
was because
Yeah.
when Walter Russell put his stuff up, yep, just go down a little bit, and we're going to get to gravity. Not that one.
36, how
We're
do
going
we
to get to
get
gravity
there?
in a second. Not that one. We're not even
36,
there
Neil
yet.
deGrasse
There,
Tyson.
tetratarian wave
38.
conjugations.
Okay.
Now, these
38.
are all of those systems put together.
Okay. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Where they invented straight lines in opening the flower, or where you actually take the individual pieces of the flower and put it together based on universal ratios. Which one do you think is how the givers of that knowledge intended for us to use it?
Well, it makes sense because you're accounting for the negative space and the straight lines are not.
Bingo.
Yeah, that it must be something.
Rogan
And
gets it.
And then these are all physical representations that you've created?
Yep.
Rogan's
that are
trying
all
to steal his
of those
ideas.
things.
Same things. That's the Aubrian right there.
How is this received? Like when you talk to people about this?
Don't trust Rogan.
Oh man, they first
You can trust them all you want
because
to.
I didn't show them. I hadn't shown them. I introduced it with let's talk about our fundamentals are a little bit off. There are no straight lines.
Right.
So I reached out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I saw him at an event up front, at Fox, and he was like, "Hey man, yeah, I'd love for you to come on my show, do my radio, do my TV thing. I would love that." I was like, "Yeah, but I've got something I want to introduce to you." And it was only 36 pages. It was a treatise. And I told him it was controversial. And
He said it was only 36 pages. Yeah, for you and me, but you're giving it to an idiot. You're giving it to a puppet, a shell, an idiot. He's not going to read 36 pages of any damn thing.
sent him over the 36-page thing that had the wave conjugations in it, but I started it off with 1 × 1 = 2.
There you go, Self.
And he went in on my treatise, redlined everything. He attacked
didn't read past
that I had talked about Walter Russell and Victor Schauberger and John Keeley and Tesla as.
He didn't, Self. He gave it to his handler. And his handler put all those marks through it. His handler read through it.
The people that I looked up to, he
Mm-hmm.
attacked them, but then he started attacking, the 1 × 1 = 2.
How did he attack them?
Oh, he was because I asked him. I said, under what conditions? I said it's illogical where the square root of a number added to itself will equal more than that number squared.
Okay, wait. The
But
square
that's what
root
happened.
of a number added to itself will equal more.
Put them in particular.
Okay, so the square root of 10, the square root of 100 is 10. So the square root of a number added to itself, 10 plus 10 is 20.
Order there at the.
What's he saying?
There's a link for that right inside of.
Right.
And 75% of it.
Damn, man. Yeah, this computer, bro. Are you kidding me, computer? I did none of
this. And Tesla as the people that I looked up to. He attacked them, but then he started attacking, the 1 × 1 = 2.
How did he attack them?
Oh, he was because I asked him. I said, under what conditions? I said it's illogical where the square root of a number added to itself will equal more than that number squared.
Oh yeah, we'd have laughed him out of race school. His parents would have had to come out there. We'd have hit him with snowballs. We'd have shunned him. Shame, this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't go around saying 1 × 1 = 2.
Well,
Then getting upset when you get challenged.
Well, you know you're gonna get challenged with that.
Yeah.
Squared. But that's what happens with the square root of 2. That's what happens with most of the numbers. I was like, how is it that multiplication, if it means to make more and increase a number, how is 1 × 1 = 1 part of the multiplication table? Now, I understand that if you're seeing it one time.
He's making a good point.
But we call that once.
To multiply something.
But the moment that you had
bigger.
the times in there, that multiplicative indicator, that means there's more than 1. So now each equation is supposed to be balanced.
That question
that equal sign is supposed to show that there's a balance between these 2 numbers over here and a balance on this one over here.
True.
What happened to the other one in this equation? It didn't equate.
True.
And then I took the square root of that number. I took the square root of 2. Because all this started in 3rd grade. I was arguing with my teacher because we're talking about the square root of 100. Oh,
3rd grade.
Is that your phone?
Yeah, that's my detox.
And you see he got interrupted,
I'm supposed to detox right now.
Man, it's crazy,
detox. You detox on a timer? What do you do?
There's my wife.
He got right back to it, but bro, I lost.
But that's what happens with the
when he asked that
it
question.
with let's talk about our fundamentals or a little bit where they invented straight lines in opening the flower, or where you actually take the individual pieces of the flower and put it together based on universal ratios. Which one do you think is how the givers of that knowledge intended for us to use
You think the elite knows
Well, it makes
what he
sense
knows
because
already?
you're accounting for the negative space
Yes.
and the straight lines are not.
Bingo.
Yeah, that it must be something. And so, and then these are all physical
That's why I say
representations that
it's
you've
3
created
different education systems.
that are all of those things.
Same things. That's the Aubryan right there.
How is this received? Like
You
when
won't
you
let you
talk
in
to
those
people about
schools.
this?
Oh man, they first, because I didn't show them, I hadn't shown them. I introduced it with let's talk about our fundamentals are a little bit off. There are no straight lines.
Right.
So I reached out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No
I saw him at an event up front, at Fox.
Oh, he said 1 × 1 = 2. That was
he
it.
was like, hey,
He
man,
stopped
I'd love
reading.
for you to come on my show, do my radio, do my TV thing. I would love that. I was like, yeah, but I've got something I want
Hey
to
man, I want you
introduce
to come on my show so I can talk nonsense.
And it was only 36 pages. It was a treatise. And I told him it was controversial, and I sent him over
It was controversial.
the 36-page thing that had the wave conjugations in it, but I started it off with 1 × 1 = 2.
You're right, Tubb. He started out with that.
And he went in on my treatise, redlined everything.
Should have ended it with
attack
that.
I had talked about
In
Walter
conclusion.
Russell and Victor Schauberger and John Keeley and Tesla as the people that I looked up to. He attacked them, but then he started attacking, 1 × 1 = 2.
How did he attack them?
Oh, he was because I asked him. I said, under what conditions? I said it's illogical where the square root of a number added to itself will equal more than that number squared.
Square
that's
root
what
of a
happens with the
number
square root
added
of
to
2.
itself will equal more than that number squared. So the square root of 100 is 10. Added to itself is 20. He's saying the square root. Now, what am I missing? What's he saying?
He's saying 110.
That's what happens with most of the numbers. I was like,
Saying that it's 110.
And
He said
Tesla
it's
as
the square root
the
of a
people
number
that I
added to
looked up
itself.
to. He attacked
The square root of a number added to itself. Okay. So
added to
100. Okay, so 110.
110.
I got you. Okay. And then what's the end part of it?
them.
The
But
number
then he
squared. So
started
10
attacking,
squared is
1
100.
× 1.
Right. He's
So-
saying, what's the end of what he's saying? The square root
He's
of
saying
Added to
He
itself
said
can't
where
what?
be less than the number squared.
Wait, can't be less. Wow. Well, no, it can't. Right?
It's not logical.
1 equaling 2.
How did he attack them?
Oh, he was because I asked him. I said,
Are you sick,
I said,
Kenny?
under what conditions? I said it's illogical where the square root of a number added to itself will equal more than that number squared. But that's what happens with the square root of 2. That's what
way
happens with
illogical.
most of the numbers. I was like, how is it that multiplication, if it means to make more and increase a number, how is 1 times 1 equaling 1 part of the multiplication table? Now, I understand that if you're seeing it one time.
Right.
But we call that 1.
This guy was questioning everything. You know, he allegedly, as far as Hollywood, everybody was told to stay away from him. Don't talk to him.
Yeah.
Became labeled difficult on the set. He wants to talk about,
And then they replaced him in Iron Man. He was in the first Iron Man.
Yeah, after he got Iron Man hired.
Then they got Don Cheadle.
Yeah, but he's the one who got.
I know.
The dude who played Iron Man the job. And he said dude wouldn't even take his calls after he got fired.
Yeah.
No, life lessons, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything he's done has got him to where he's at now. So,
Okay. So true. So he's at where we're at. And you were talking about this earlier, 1 times 1 equals 1. So we're gonna let him go a little bit further and let you go off to where you were earlier when I was like, okay, we're gonna get there. And then we're getting into Alan Watts because I don't know how I feel about
But the
Alan
moment that you had that add the times
Well, I
in
do know
there,
how I feel
that
about
multiplicative indicator, that means there's more than 1. So now each equation is supposed to be balanced. That equal sign is supposed to show that there's a balance between these 2 numbers over here and a balance on this one over here.
Oh, they didn't
what
like him in
happened to
math class.
the other
Oh,
one
no.
in this equation? It didn't equate. And then I took the square root of that number. I took the square root of 2. Because all this started in 3rd grade. I
used to do stuff like that, though, playing with the
teacher
numbers like this
because
shit
we're
don't
talking
make
about
sense.
the square root of 100.
And the computer come back error.
Is that your phone?
Yeah, that's my
What's going on?
detox thing.
See,
I'm supposed to detox right now.
Yeah. Cut him off because
Yeah.
he was gonna do the square
How
root
is
of
1
100.
times 1 equaling
He was
1
gonna
part
do
of the
what we just
multiplication
did.
table? Now, I
Right.
understand that if you're seeing it one
I
time.
think he did it, though.
Way in the last 6 months, I've been using that. And rascality to you.
We have a fan in here, by the way. If you want to smoke in
Yeah,
here,
no,
you're more than welcome to.
I don't trust people, that walk around, people get so offended by gurus a lot of times and yogis because they think they're these calm and passive people.
And it's part of the why.
There, and I guess he wanted me to support
I got this
Bohr
label,
or
so let's
Schringer
move
or Feynman or any of those
44.
people. And I'm looking at the Feynman diagram.
All right. Alan Watts, y'all. We'll see.
Times and yogis because they think they're these calm and passive people, and when they get angry they're like, oh, that was a directed anger, that was a purposeful anger to wake you up to something. And then they find out they have a girlfriend. They find out that they smoke and they're like, oh,
Vices.
this is a lie.
Right.
But that's the real person. That's what I loved about Alan Watts. He had a wife and he had his mistresses. He ended up dying with one of his girlfriend and his wife, off in his little place. But he spoke the truth. He was honest. Life is about the give and take. There's a balance in there,
To be human is to be flawed.
It's to be beautiful.
Well, he lived his truth, Alan Watts.
Yeah, it's part of the beauty.
I
of
thought
us.
he was an illuminist.
And it's part of the why we create. I don't think you create from a perfect place of enlightenment.
Definitely not sure on
part
Alan Watts. I've not studied him or anything. I've heard a lot of stuff he said, and it sounds on near point, if not on point.
A little bit of both, you know what I mean? A lot of truth, you know what I'm saying? And maybe he got labeled,
Chaos of being a human being is the beauty of the creation. It's why we create.
right, so
the
let's get
most
past-
fucked up people. The best artists are some of the most fucked up people. My favorite musicians.
He said his dad told him, if you want to grow a flower, you got to throw a lot of poop on it or something.
Physics of the world, and he said it's all a lie.
Those neuroscientists who break through and change the world, be abusing the shit out of him. He was abused, allegedly. Here we go.
And he explained that there was these 16 fields, you know, that everything that they had taught was this, and they
We're going
gave
to talk
the
about
best
Giordano
understanding and
Bruno here, Self. And when I was saying how they were saying
that
he
they
added,
had of it. But it was all a
But,
lie because they didn't understand how it worked. Why? Because the Michelson
I
Morley
forgot. And
experiment.
did you have anything to add on the 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1?
I mean,
'Cause, yeah,
he pretty much said it all.
he did.
Not really much you can explain beyond that.
I mean,
the two numbers. So he's changing everything that's multiplied times 1.
These are the questions you and I would ask people.
Yeah.
And it either led to frustration or they don't answer or they just change the subject. And this is what he's been going through. Or these are ridicule and shun and ostracization and
Kicked out of class and call your mom.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just ask the question.
Threaten to put you on the short bus if you, then your parents are like, they're gonna put you in it. They talking about they be looking at me, son, they're talking about giving you a hearing aid. I'd be like, I'm gonna do a hearing aid. I know me, 3rd, 4th grade boy, but you better stop asking questions. You better stop questioning everything. It would have been just like that. You know what I mean?
Mom, shit. My mom took me and put me in a school where I could ask questions.
Oh yeah.
And challenge my teachers.
She was a fighter too. I'm just talking.
He thought it was steel.
I know you.
But there was another guy, Larmor,
revolutionary,
that did it in early 1800s, and he went off of Thomas Young, who influenced the Fresnel lens, influenced Fresnel, came up with the Fresnel lens. But he talked about a moving ether that had opposing vortices. So I didn't learn all of this stuff until I was getting ready to have conversations with people, because I was looking, where has this work been done? But if you look at Giordano Bruno's work, it looks a lot like my stuff, but he still had straight lines, and I think he put those straight lines in there to appease the church.
Oh, wow.
So that he wouldn't get killed.
Oh, my God.
And they still killed him. They hung him upside down in 1600, the Catholic Church. 1599, hung him upside down
Man,
in
you know
a
how much
stake
stuff is in that Vatican.
and set him on fire. Because he
set him on
refused to
fire.
recant that the God that they were talking about was not the true God of the universe. It was much larger than that. Their story went back 6,000 years. And there's other traditions and tribes around the
I'll
world
tell
where
you
their
what.
stories go back 200,000 years.
When you don't want to recant,
And they made a lot more sense. So
just recant.
how
Go
have
on.
we limited ourselves? You take Noah
can't
having
calm
3
down,
sons,
go on. They're gonna set you on fire.
Japheth, and Ham,
Yeah.
and one was black.
They're gonna
But
set you
more,
on
more
fire.
than
out here,
likely,
brother.
if he recanted, they were still
They're gonna do
kill
it
him.
anyway. Yeah.
Right. And they was like, look, he said it was wrong
Heard it.
himself, and,
he's lying.
we gotta kill him
Yeah.
instead of standing on business. That's standing on business, because
That's it. You standing on
It
business.
looks a lot
doing
like my stuff, but he still had straight lines, and I think he put those straight lines in there to appease the church.
Oh, wow.
So that he wouldn't get killed.
Rogan's
Oh, my God.
And they still killed him. They hung him
high as hell.
upside down in 1600, the Catholic Church. 1599, hung him upside down in a stake and set him on fire.
Man.
Because he refused to recant that the God that they were talking about was not the true God of the universe. It was much larger than that. Their story went back 6,000 years. And there's other traditions and tribes around the world where their stories go back 200,000 years. And they made a lot more sense. So how have we limited ourselves? You take Noah having 3 sons, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, and one was black, one was Asian, and one was white.
How about this, Self? You heard what you said about Noah? How about maybe he had 3 different women that gave birth to those different kids?
Yeah, but yeah.
But I think they were saying that those three were begat by Lilith or whatever her name was. His wife, one of his wives.
Yeah, his wife. I don't think it was Lilith. That's Adam's first wife, so they say, allegedly.
I thought Eve was
allegedly no? Lilith is his first wife.
Oh.
Allegedly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
That's where the other people came from. Allegedly.
You don't ask those questions.
And Cain got kicked out, and he was like, "Those people are going to kill me." What people?
Now, here's one of the things, Self. That I hear you. You're going to be dropping your phone. Now, here's one of the things, Self, that got me, and this is what kept me watching. Because around this point, I'm like, okay, it's interesting. It's this theory on how the sun, how each solar system's sun literally births each planet. And this I found fascinating. Fair use.
Yeah, that kind of
does that make sense to you? But we subscribe to that. We ascribe to that dogma, and everybody's entitled to whatever opinion they want to have.
That's right.
I don't think that opinion is right.
We're going off in so many different directions.
But
I do want to talk about this. I do want to get to this because I would love to know what you believe happened. But the Neil deGrasse Tyson thing is so confusing to me. That he was critical of Tesla.
He was critical of Tesla. He was critical of Walter Russell, and he was critical of John Keeley.
This is not his field of study, though, right?
No, he's astrophysicist. He's an astrophysicist. But Walter Russell talked about that the Earth. Walter Russell talked about the fact that the sun gave birth to the Earth, that it didn't coalesce from some field, and the proof of this. Do you guys know that the Earth is drifting away from the sun?
Yeah, slightly.
This is the mistake I made at the Oxford because they wouldn't allow me to bring my notes or anything. So I said the drift was.
That means the Earth's drift is faster than the sun's drift, and it's somehow moving away from the magic gravity of its star.
The drift was 6 inches a year.
Trying to figure it all out.
It's making gravity nonsense.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. I used to wonder too, like, how can I even lift my foot and walk?
Man, still tell me how this plane that we're on is traveling 186,000 miles.
Yeah.
And spinning.
Yeah.
And the same constellations are in place.
Uh-huh.
Every day.
Or you jump up in the air and you don't get smacked by a house. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah.
You go in a helicopter and you see the Earth spinning under you like super, super fast. Like, oh shit, I have to set this thing down. You have to use AI to figure out exactly when to set it down. So if you need AI for that.
Yeah, how you take off and land a plane.
Yeah. You just be able to take off and then we drop it. We take it up. And then you buy it, you're going to come down. And when we come down, we're going to be in China. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It should be like that.
And the flight patterns don't make sense either. But that's another number.
Yeah.
Earth to the Earth. That it didn't coalesce from some field. And the proof of this.
Here we go.
Do you guys know that the Earth is drifting away from the sun?
Yeah, slightly.
This is the mistake I made at the Oxford because they wouldn't allow me to bring my notes or anything. So I said the drift was 6 inches a year. It's 0.6 inches a year.
And he picked up on.
So if you
he picked up on Rogan.
How long it would take the Earth to move? Because
he's like us dealing with those pink people on the yard. Hey, just some of it thinks he's smarter than me. Slightly. Rogan was taking a dig because Terrence had made a mistake when he was at Oxford. Oxford didn't give him his equipment. They wouldn't even let him use his notes. He used my notes with it. They wanted him to say, screw y'all. And Self, they didn't have none of the science kids. It was sad. They found all the copper color ones in there and they wanted to keep asking about acting and stuff like that.
I saw that.
Yeah, they did. I'm so dirty. He handled it gracefully.
The deGrasse Tyson thing is so confusing to me. That he was
telescope had proven that it would take the Earth to move and all of
That's not his field of study, though, right?
No, he's astrophysicist. He's an
Right.
astrophysicist, but Walter Russell talked
You should know his field of story. He sat on your show multiple times, Joe Rogan.
about that the
Well,
Earth.
he was trying to make sure that he knew that, without being because he
I see
don't
what you're saying.
non-confrontational about it.
Hollywood passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walter Russell talked about the fact that the sun gave birth to the Earth, that it didn't coalesce from some field, and the proof of this. Do you guys know that the Earth is drifting away from the sun?
Yeah, slightly.
This is the mistake I made at the Oxford, because they wouldn't allow me to bring my notes or anything. So I said the drift was 6 inches a year. It's 0.6 inches a year.
Yeah.
So if you add up how long it would take the Earth to move, and all of the planets in every solar system is drifting away from their primary at this same exact rate.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
1.5 centimeters. So this is a universal expansion that's happening with everything moving away. So them saying and the Webb telescope have proven that those galaxies couldn't have formed 13, 14 billion years ago. But if you would just
proven
add
that
up
here on the show.
linearly how long
Damn
it would take the Earth to go from the sun to 93 million miles away, it's 9 trillion. Hold on.
Let's go.
I did all of the little calculations.
These are not little calculations.
He's about to start talking about the spooks.
Hold
This
on,
is-
Don.
you guys
I
think
love
me
that
and Self
expression,
Love
but
talk-
Little, well, man, don't turn my phone off. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Every time I get ready,
They get Rogan.
because I know they're watching me right
discredit.
now, and they're mad at me.
Who's they?
They. Who's they? I'm doing self.
The people that want that. Our entire world economy is based off of the politicians and the authorities that give the politicians their accreditation. And those authorities, those universities are all based, their entire curriculum is based off the Platonic solids.
You've said all
And
of
our world
this.
economy is based off of 1
Great
times
debate
1
TV.
equaling 1.
You think they fuck with your phone?
Oh, I'm sure of it, because now I have to turn it off for
Do
a
you
second.
ever drop your phone?
You
ever drop your phone?
I've dropped my phone
That's how we
a
do it,
number of
so.
times.
You
But
ever think that might be what's going on with your
and
phone?
then I buy another phone, and the same thing happens. I'm 5
You get
minutes.
burners?
But when
I-
I'm doing it, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the record, I'm not a spook, but I'm saying, why is he doing it? Maybe he's doing the same thing.
I used to, but then my wife
He's
would think
high.
I was cheating.
Yeah.
So I
he's
was
not
like,
cheating.
no, I don't need that. I don't need that. I made that mistake way too early, in our relationship, and it cost me 8 years of,
We're almost
of
finished.
toil
Yeah.
and pain. But I ultimately made it back, and I'm so glad that, we produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat.
Listen to this.
Women are born with 200 to 500,000 eggs in each of their ovaries. They don't get any more. The amount of buildup, the need to reproduce for males is great, and we're 98.7% identical.
I did an A paper on this at the University of Illinois, and a female professor, now that I'm looking back on, called me in there and wanted to shake my hand on how I did a great job.
To simians, to chimpanzees. What do they have? They have a harem by nature.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a 1.3% differentiation between us and them, and that 1.3% is supposed to dominate over the 98. I'm just glad I'm 55 now, and sperm production has slowed down.
Hey, he be dropping
you can always get a
knowledge on
phone
their
that you
ass.
don't use as anything other than contact a couple people.
Yeah, but that would work. But I'm like, if they're going to hear, they're going to hear.
Yeah, well, that is an issue. So
this is the math. This is the math. So it would, 5,280 feet in a mile, 12 inches in a foot. Therefore, it's 1 mile equals 63,360 inches. So the number of years that it will take for the Earth to move 1 mile is 105,600 years. So that in order for the Earth to reach where we are at 93 million miles, it would take 9,820,800,000,000 years for the Earth to get here. Likewise, Mars At 147 million miles away from the sun, it would take 15 trillion.
What he's saying
780 billion.
is making absolute perfect sense. But our minds have been so distorted by big science and big education that we will look at this and won't even like when Neil deGrasse Tyson 1 times 1 is 2. You know, he had the square root of 2. Like it piqued my interest. Those other people, yeah, they shut down when they see that.
I mean, it destroys everything that he's done in his career.
His indoctrination and
everything that he's done. I don't know exactly what he's done, but if he's made any calculations towards anything, it destroys that.
Hold it. You just said a point. Yeah, exactly. And I got to do some research on this because what exactly has he done? You know, we've talked about this too on GBTV. You know, scientists should be doing science. You know what I mean? Not running around on the internet, you know, blabbing about science that other scientists have done. I mean, it's nice. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you said, what has he done exactly? How many patents does he have? Would be a question. You know,
if he's made anything with any calculations, this destroys that. So it makes.
That's a good point. You're saying what original thought has he done to add to science? Because all I hear deGrasse Tyson doing is talking about theories of other people, explaining the mainstream theories in a way that make no sense. You know, but he does it well.
Sometimes it makes sense, and that's the whole thing. So when he doesn't make sense, he's purposely putting some BS in there. So he's a shield.
It is a shield. And you know what I found out, Self?
Allegedly
out here in Southern Cal, no kid left behind. You know what they've been doing? They don't hold kids back no more and hold them to accountability.
Well, they can only hold them back in 3rd grade and 8th grade. So they pass them along.
Yeah.
So if you can't do nothing in 1st grade or 2nd grade, you get to go to 3rd grade. And
then they
no
hold
way
you
you
back
pass
1
in
year.
3rd grade.
All right, but then it's just 1 year. But then they're gonna let you go to 4th, and then you can sit around.
Is it
and
only
do
1
nothing.
year? Because I don't.
Yeah, no child left behind.
That's the most ridiculous.
Y'all got that in Illinois too?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I wouldn't do shit. I would have matriculated that. Like, wait a minute,
it's ridiculous. And then most of them age out. They're not gonna, you know.
Yeah.
You
get a certain age.
2 years behind.
You got to go to the adult school then. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you 2 years behind when you get to freshman year, and they're gonna pass you until you're a senior.
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna graduate, and you're gonna be 19, 20 still in high school.
Yeah. As I said, they got like I forgot what they call it out here. It's like an adult school. A lot of them end up at
alternative school. That's what they are here.
Yeah, yes, they are there. Yeah. Alternative schools have kids. Like some of them, this is just for the older ones, though.
Yeah, these for high school and above. So it'd be 19, 20-year-old motherfuckers up in there. You know what I mean? It do be some
freshmen
high school
and sophomores.
Yeah. But it still be 19, 20.
Oh, okay.
It don't be no teenage. It don't be no 13-year-old. So it'd be a straight high school.
Yeah. That's great.
80 million years for Mars to get where it was. So at a given point, Mars was here in the Goldilocks zone. And now Venus is going to inherit the Goldilocks zone.
And this kind of some theories about those aliens are us or people coming back trying to warn us or whatever, maybe and he's going to explain it. It's compression. As you move further, your environment's changing. So now we start changing how we look, right? We're steady getting smarter. It's taking millions of years. We're getting to science.
So next,
hold up.
The sun will.
And then do we go back? And yes, we would come back to this planet. You damn right we would, wouldn't we? We would come back to whatever planet is in the Goldilocks zone.
Right.
You damn right we would. But would we? Because we're going to be changing all while our planet is moving. But I guess it is going to get to a point where we know, right? Life as we know it can't exist.
Here.
Physical life. Right. Right?
Yes.
Wow. If what he's saying is true.
Right.
Which would explain why we have submersible UAPs allegedly going underwater, which would probably explain why people are saying there's technology on this earth that's thousands of years ahead of what. Yeah. Would they interact with us? They'd probably use us as slaves. Sure would.
If they could. You know, they could implement that. But there is some beings here that's controlling this whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. You know, what did they say in the Matrix? You know, where people don't know that they're slaves. That's what Morpheus said. They created a system where, you've enslaved people and they don't know that they're enslaved. That would be the smartest way. They would be playing chess, not checkers. They would be so far ahead of us. Not to mention, it wouldn't just be them.
Right.
It would be a society even before them that keeps coming back to the Goldilocks zone. But I think they all would. Are they our ancestors?
I don't think this space on this plane is totally unique. It is to a certain degree. I don't think everybody comes back to the Goldilocks zone of this, because I think we have different origins, because there are different beings. They're bipedal, and they're from a different. They're not carbon based.
And as your planet itself is moving out of the Goldilocks zone, is there going to be a point where, is there ever a point where there's going to be a point where there's no planet in the Goldilocks zone. So you're changing, your body is changing while you're waiting for this other point. Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
And everything's moving at the same increments.
Yeah, that's 6 centimeters per year. Like, it's like a universal constant.
I think you said 6.6 inches. It was 3 millimeters, 3.5 millimeters.
Centimeters. I don't know. I was thinking 0.6 centimeters, but I could be off.
I think it was 0.6 inches, and it was 3.5 millimeters.
Yeah, definitely inches. Yeah, you're
will
right.
give Mercury is under a higher pressure, because they're still under the mistake thinking that there's a void in space. So they forget that Mercury is under the highest pressure possible. So it can expand. It's like hydrogen. It's like those octaves before hydrogen.
Above, so below.
So the atmosphere, the iron isn't able to release any oxygen and the oxides. But when you get to 67 million miles away from the sun, the pressure is a little less, but it's still so much higher than the pressure on Earth. It's like going deep into the very belly of the Earth. That pressure is so very high. And so now the clouds, there's a great deal of sulfur, there's a great deal of ammonia and all of those things in it. But once Earth moves to where Mars is, Venus is going to slowly move and will be right here. You know, in maybe 5 or 6 trillion years, Venus will be right here, and humanoids will appear again and unwind the same way. And that asteroid belt that we have right now between Mars and Jupiter, that used to be a planet. And I believe that they had humanoids that developed on there, the same way that everything, that's the periodic table. They call it the periodic.
Watch what he says about CERN, so.
Table, because these things happen according to periodicity. They happen under regular events. You change the motion and pressure conditions, the crystallization changes. We call it a different element, but it's the same substance. Like my hand is one substance, but if I do it like this and do it like this and do it like this, it looks like a whole different thing. And they can call it a different element, but it's the same element under different motion and pressure conditions. I believe that Sirius used to be a planet when it was here, and the humanoids on there didn't recognize that we don't have a solid core. Everything expands as a sphere, and no sphere in our universe. No bubble has a solid core.
They said the moon
We're
was hollow.
perceiving it as a solid core, but there is not a solid core there. There's just a bubble. And at CERN, that Hadron Collider, that particle accelerator, I believe they did the same thing, and they popped their planet. And it became that asteroid belt.
Really?
Just
That's where we're gonna put a pin in it, because we went through shadow spooks, male reproductive needs, periodic table for planetary, and then we're at serious discussion. Yeah. So you got any comment on anything you heard? This is mind-blowing stuff as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's a theory. That's all I can say. I mean,
All science is a theory. So it's the theory of relativity and a theory of the Big Bang.
No, some stuff has been proven to a certain degree, but most things that are, major have been stated like they're fact and they're theories.
Yeah.
But this is a theory, it's a theory, and he's got a lot of points to his theory.
With the planet migration theory?
Yeah. There's points to it, but I don't think it's like that though.
No, I hear you. You're saying the theory of the advanced civilization blew itself up with a certain type of technology.
Yeah.
But it could be those civilizations coming back try to tell us how not to do that, but then why would they care? And if they've been blown up, how could they come back?
And there's also been theorized that that was when it was a major collision in space. That's where that came from.
Between planets?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mainstream nonsense.
Theory.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was plausible. What I liked is how his planet migration theory, which is what I labeled it, how he fit it into his periodic table, like how he was explaining, like Mercury is under the most pressure, so it's literally like hydrogen, and it's how Mercury's the smallest planet, bro, like except for Pluto, which they don't consider a planet anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like interesting, man. You start seeing a lot of similarities, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like the Goldilocks zone would change over time if the sun is what they say it is, but I have no reason to believe that the sun is what they say it is. Meaning, maybe it'll burn out. Like, he's talking trillions of years for a planet to change locations.
Yeah, well, it needs to be in effect for a long time, and then they do burn out. Like all those stars
burn out, huh?
Yeah. If that's what what this is.
I mean, so
to me, that's still some mainstream. I don't.
Yeah, I'm saying if that's true, then then we know how. Not definitely, we could have killed ourselves before then. It could have been another catastrophe, but we know that life on Earth will definitely end. Life as we know it on Earth will definitely end at some point.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna pull the plug on the simulation.
Cut the light off, cut the heat off. Somebody come in, cut the album, burn this heat. Come in, the kids, you burn this heat. I told y'all the bill. You coming in, Mom, don't cut it off. I got a sign. You're gonna kill every Mom. Don't. That's it, huh? So.
Yep. We all go back to the creator
of the simulation.
Yeah. It's the creator of all. Created all of this.
He would have had to create himself, and that's where the conundrum starts.
Not necessarily, because it can be something bigger than this that's literally doing an experiment. And he didn't have to create himself. He's in a simulation himself.
Whoever created that simulation.
Just take it, if you add up all of the weight of the mass of those of the asteroids in the asteroid belt, it will probably equal the same mass as that of Mars.
See,
I
he'd
thought
have
the
to do that.
concept of the asteroid belt was, well, first of all, there's the concept of Earth 1 and Earth 2, right? So
Yeah.
Earth 1 was a planet that was hit by a planet, and that's how our moon was established.
When have we seen that happen in nature?
Well, we haven't seen it yet, right? But these things take a long ass time, and we don't have a whole lot of ability to see
So
things.
he believes it.
Our ability to see things, even with the James Webb telescope, is fairly limited, right? Which is one of the reasons why they're able to find these galaxies that should not have been able to be formed in such a short period of time, to the extent that they have, which confuses them if they're looking at this 13.7
Their math
billion
ain't math.
year old universe.
It
These
ain't never
things
math.
should be
Never.
much older.
Right.
In order to be this size,
Yeah, say
in
the
order to be in the position where they're
universe is
at.
13 billion
So
years old.
you
Earth is
believe
older than that.
that the
Mankind is
sun
older than that.
is the origin of these planets.
Of all the planets. Every solar
solar
star
system.
within its solar system gives birth to all of these other planets. This is what Walter Russell had talked about. This is what Neil deGrasse
Yeah, I gotta look up
and
Walter
they
Russell.
attacked him for, because he talked about the drift.
They
this
could have mentioned
natural
this in
drift,
science class, bro. They could have mentioned this if they wanted to be interested.
and that didn't make more sense. And they didn't have the idea of dark matter and dark energy then.
Right.
They didn't even come up with that. And now we understand 4% of the universe is visible,
Right.
and 75% of it, 70% of it is dark energy, and 20-something% of it is dark matter. Unperceivable things, and they say that's because they needed to figure out how would they get
the
the
math,
spin
man.
and create and have the galaxies.
Why do they
the
hold
spiral
together?
galaxies?
Right.
Well, what my team did, Chris Seeley, who's my he's he's my Scotty. We use the same simulator that they use at Princeton. And we took linchpins, and we haven't even introduced linchpins yet, but it'll be a great introduction for it. We took linchpins, this configuration of where 6 pentagons meet.
I'll stop it there. Yeah, that's where he's talking about his propulsion, and that's for part 2. It's a good place to stop there. But what's your comments, bro?
He's got a lot of practical information to back his theories. From a vocal standpoint, everything hasn't, I haven't scrutinized any of the math or anything, but he's been on point with a whole lot he has to say. And he's more than just an actor.
Absolutely. Everyone is more than what their profession is, right?
Well, unfortunately.
True.
Some-
You got some robots out here. That's
Yeah.
very, 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 very
Yeah, they are what they do, and that's it. A douche outside of that.
Work. Bang. Facts. Yeah. So that's where we're at on this. And I agree with you, bro. This discussion is even gonna get deeper, as we get more into it. I did want to hit the riddle before we let y'all out of here. Nobody solved it. What shape can't be straight yet holds the secret of creation?
I don't know.
I would have accepted 2 answers. Here's the one that's the correct answer according to ChatGTP. Waves. What shape can't be straight yet holds? I would have accepted flower of life too.
Yeah, I was thinking flower of life, but then it
Yeah, flower of
something-
life.
Yeah, it is
That would have been better.
It's a bunch of shapes of flower of life. Definitely would have been better.
Than waves. Because waves is plural, and it said what shape. So it should be wave, first of all. Do you know what I mean? So I know you would have got on ChatGPT's ass about this whole, you know what I mean, conjecture. I said, all right, let's see what happens.
I thought flower life, but then it did something turn me off to that.
Interesting. Because I asked it to make a riddle based upon the ramblings of Terrence D. Howard. The rantings of a madman, allegedly. They're starting to put his middle initial out there. I hope they don't activate him. You know what I mean? What do they call that? The CIA did. The Manchurian candidate.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what kind of handlers he got. That detox during the program.
During the program. All right, so we got the riddle. I did that a little too early, I suppose, but it's all well. Poll question is what I should have done. All right, let's get to the poll question. Interesting results. Channel. Community. All right. Terrence Howard's take on science / creation is, right? Option A, utter stupidity. Option B, pure unadulterated genius. Anybody who doesn't know, that's big ups to the Dutta man from New Jack City. Showed him the crack in freebase. The Dutta man, who would have definitely been on the short bus at William H. Ray School, told the compromised Nino Brown, the lumpen proletariat blood-sucking SOB, pure unadulterated genius. And it actually wasn't Nino. Actually, it wasn't. It was my man. What was his name? Nino's boy.
G Money.
Yeah, it was G Money who came up with the whole plan. Yeah. Remember, he was like, I'll put this together, Nino. Just mind and you blah, blah, blah. G Money was the brains. Nino was the muscle. And then, that's what happened. All right, but anyway, we're sidetracked. Pure unadulterated genius is option number 2. Option number 3 is let's get him some psychological help, basically. But let's get him some help. Option number D is let's protect him at all costs. And option number 5 is another ruse by the so-called elite. Now, utter stupidity shocked me. It shocked me that no one, 0%, it's called the rantings of this alleged madman. Utter stupidity. When I'm telling you, Self, he would have been put on the short bus at William H. Even though I'd have been sitting there like, that kid's genius. You know what I mean? He could hoop and everything, but I can't talk to him no more. But go ahead. It's surprising.
Our viewership is pretty
keep
sad.
Saying that. You keep saying that.
A lot of people, with lower standards on,
lower vibrational frequencies.
Yeah, they would not watch
even
our show,
and they wouldn't understand.
That's why they wouldn't watch it. They turned it off.
All right. Let's get them some help. 0% said that.
Yeah.
So I think, they don't feel like he's a madman. And this is a 3-part series, but obviously they don't think he's utterly stupid or they don't think he's a madman. That's interesting. And I'm going to reach out to Terrence Howard. I'm not going to say he's ever going to respond. But I'm going to reach out to him, see if we can't get him to sit down with us on one of these. All right. Another ruse by the so-called elite. Yeah, it's a tricky one. 14% of the respondents believe that he's basically an industry plant?
I mean, to a certain degree, I can see the plausibility in that because he's an actor. He could be playing a role,
reading a script.
Yeah, he knows how to read the script and
memorize
lines.
lines.
Yeah. He's gonna be the opposer to the Neil deGrasse. I mean, I could see that.
Could have been a spook the whole time. Rock that trick. What was the name of that?
3-6 Mafia wrote that though. He
did
perform.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Oh, 3-6 Mafia wrote that. I thought he wrote that and performed.
No. He performed.
Really? Okay. I was like, this guy could be a rapper. Now it makes sense.
They won.
Did they ghostwrite it?
No, they did the music on there, the songs on there.
Hollywood Let Me Coon with the magic
they
of Hollywood.
They won awards.
Oh, I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, when that was acclaimed, 3-6 Mafia won a Grammy for
apparently
the music.
They probably wrote it, performed it, and then he just listened to the recording and performed it the same way they performed it. Probably.
Yeah, more than likely that. They gave him a track.
And you memorized this. You industry plant.
Like that. I mean, shit, he's an actor. That's what that was. He's not.
14%.
He didn't make music after that, so that's what really let you know. Because shit.
14%. Now, obviously, you didn't choose utter stupidity. You didn't choose let's get him some help because that's 0%. Did you select another ruse by the so-called elite? Nor did I. All right. Now, these last two options are tied at 43%. Pure, unadulterated genius. Interesting. I should have had something in there. I've watched the entire thing, or I've been following it or something, because, all right. And then we've got let's protect him at all costs. Damn. 43% on that too. Wow. Now I'm going to tell you. I selected can't remember. It was pure unadulterated genius.
Yeah, as did I.
Yeah.
But it was close.
Between protect him at all costs?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting his information out there, though.
He's got all those patents. They're out there.
Yeah. And people are using those patents, they're referencing his patents.
Well, they're using the patent that he didn't complete.
Yeah, the ones that he didn't renew. Yeah, he said you have to keep paying, which we'll get into in, different parts. But yeah, you got to keep paying. That's how they do, Self. You got to keep paying the some fee they came up with that most poor people, not poor, but regular everyday people aren't going to keep paying over 15 years to keep this patent, active, where you can raise the money to really build something, right? So he said as soon as they expired, all these major companies, he showed it, and we'll get into it. Apple, all of them. Yeah. I wonder how much of that, none of this went on back in the days, like Jim Crow.
Well, they talking about Thomas Edison and a light, Alexander Graham Bell and a phone. No, neither one of them people created anything. They had people working for them under their guise that everything they created was put in their name.
Like companies do today.
Period.
Can somebody clarify something? It's off topic. I'm not going to do it. I've been telling myself to stay more focused. I be having questions though, bro, for like the Goyim. Try to get an understanding, you know what I mean, of the mindset, but we'll get there. All right. So, so that's our poll question. We're going to keep this poll up. So you guys, definitely let us know how you feel on that. It's totally unanimous. It's anonymous. I gotta stop doing that. I'm missing the words for real now. I'm like Cartman. Can't come up with the real word. Cartman was acting like he had Tourette syndrome himself. That motherfucker couldn't stop it. He couldn't turn it off. I'm gay. That motherfucker started. Me and my cousin play with each other's penises. He started saying shit like that, bro. He was saying truths, bro. He couldn't stop it. Oh man. South Park, bro.
He turned himself into that.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure did. All right. I'll tell you what, though, it was fascinating. Well, if I was a kid, they'd have put me in the short bus, though. If I'd have thought about it, let me act like I got Tourette syndrome. That's when I started hearing about it, but the school already knew I didn't have it. But I'd have pulled it. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, he's so smart, though. He's scoring high on all the tests. You know what I mean?
Short bus. You wouldn't even get the same test. And like he doesn't drool. That'll be the test.
Oh man, I probably would have fell right in line too. Bro. I'd have been going to lunch early. You know what I mean? You get to go to lunch early. Bro. I'd have been talking to all my homies. Fuck y'all. You know what I mean? And big ups to the shit. Y'all gotta stop it. All right. God loves everyone, and so do I. In the captivating realm of Terrence Howard, the line between madness and genius blurs like an August mirage on a sun-scorched Chicago E-way. His enigmatic journey through Hollywood, marked by unconventional choices and philosophical musings, defies easy categorization. Is he a madman, driven by inner tempests, or a genius weaving cosmic threads into his art? Perhaps the truth lies in the interplay of both. A celestial dance where chaos births brilliance. As we continue to unravel the enigma of Terrence Howard in parts 2 and 3, we may find that labels fade, but the cosmic waves he's riding endure, echoing across the universe at the rate of 0.6 inches a year till eternity. Until next time, stay curious and keep dreaming. Show some love to yourself and the others around you. Remember, ask not what our culture can do for you, but what you can do for the culture. As always, be like Terrence Howard. Question everything. 1 times 1. Yeah? 0. He says 0 is fictitious. I start doing research on it. There's a debate. There's been a raging debate. We'll talk about that in the future episodes. So question everything. The Self Love Show ain't Kansas, Dorothy. Peer down these rabbit holes, but do your own research. Use caution and discernment, because sometimes when you stare into that abyss, then, well, they start hacking your phones, and the abyss stares right back at you. Peace, self-love, honor, and respect. Okay? All right. Any big ups, shout outs? We're closing this out there, fella.
Yes, to my ancestral Echoes family at LaVue right now. I think I might be on my way.
All right. All right. All right. And to his point, next week, Ancestral Echoes Unpacked. This is second annual. This is the second year we're doing this show. So I'm absolutely looking forward to sitting down with the guys, these titans of business. You know what I mean?
And the ladies. There's gonna be some ladies on the call too.
What? All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's Farrakhan say this. Handsome young men. You know what I mean? Farrakhan can say it. I can't call pink people drop dead gorgeous. Farrakhan calls copper men handsome and kings all the time. I don't see the difference. All right. I just fail to see any difference. You know what I mean? All right.
I see the difference. Hey, sorry.
All right. Yeah. And then so on Mouthpiece Included, where anybody could pull up, it's an open panel. All right. So if we had Looney Tunes pop in, Looney Tunes popped up
He
last
packed back
week.
in.
Yeah, Looney Tunes popped up. Hey, he gave me his channel. Looney Tunes, he got like 3,000 followers, bro. Yeah. Me and Ace told him our favorite Looney Tune characters, and I'm gonna do a short, put it up on the channel. Yeah, Looney Tune came in there. His favorite is Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner and the Coyote or something. Yeah. He's serious about that too, Self. Because I was thinking it was Disney. You remember I started talking shit. So I was he's serious. He said, and I said, man, we talk sports. And he was like, all right, what's your favorite sport? And I was like, basketball. I think Ace was like baseball and football. Ace asked Looney Tunes what his favorite sport is. He was like, Space Jams. That's it. Ain't that a Looney Tunes Michael Jordan movie? I was like, look at Looney Tunes. That's a sport to him. Space Jams, baby. The beautiful mind of Looney Tunes. You know what I mean? Space Jams. That's his favorite sport. And he connected though, didn't he? He connected to sports through Space Jam. Yeah. Frequency. It's all about frequency. If you know the magic of 369, the monkey drank wine, the goose dropped bait on the 3/4 line. The line broke, the monkey got choked, and they all went to hell when a little rope broke. Yeah, it's all been there. It's been there forever. It's been there forever. TSOB. Nobody listens. They don't listen, Self. All right. So anyway, Mouthpiece Included, copper tone darts. Is it a sport? We're going to talk about that. You know what I mean, lots to unpack too. We're going to be talking about Caitlyn Jenner too. Is that her name? WNBA?
No, it's definitely
pushed
not
around.
Jenner. Definitely not Jenner.
Caitlyn, whatever her name. We're going to be talking about that.
Clark, is it Clark?
Yeah, Clark Jenner.
Okay.
Caitlyn Clark. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that too. So, WNBA. All right. And so that's what we on, bro. Looking forward to next week on the Self Luv Show, though, bro. That should be great.
Oh,
Caitlyn
man.
Jenner. She's brave. You know what I mean?
That's
Man, they creating a monster though, Self. I've been putting that in the chats when I saw our first game. She's wrong song, Karen. They did the same thing to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. All they're doing is giving her information. If she's the dog that I think she is, she's learning what she needs to know, and she's gonna come back. Remember how Mike kept getting stronger and stronger, and he put that NBA body on, and that's what she's gonna do. They're creating a monster. And I would do the same thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? You better get her while you can. Yeah. That's what they did to Mike. They knew Mike was about to be shitting all over them. They knew it. They saw what he was doing at Chicago State in the pro-ams. All right, this brings me back to my personal favorite part of the whole shebang. That's Wordsmith's final words. Yeah.
Upon investigation, with no hesitation, I'll let you know. Terrence Howard got some shit that's blazing. A lot of it is breakthrough amazing. A lot still needs to see because there's a lot of theories. But I think they are foundationally logical. In the range of probable. I know everything is solvable. The foundations have been set and they seem to be incorrect. With no disrespect, something ain't right, something is wrong. They've been holding us back with the same old song. Terrence Howard seems to think it is the religious figures, the institution that delivered the false doctrine and the slavery to the system.
And you copper-colored niggas.
And some of those people were melanated too. And evil as fuck, the opposite of me and you. But we need to pursue being our higher selves, merge with like minds, and literally meld into a force that will expel these beings that's holding us down. Realize that we don't need none of this. All we need is us. We band together, we will crush the whole system, because it needs to crash. Words.
Words. Sorry, Bob. Classic. Instant classic. Yes, sir.
Do you think you are the one?
Well,
honestly, I don't know. You know what that means? It's Latin. Means no.
It's
thyself.
It's interesting they had Neo be Caucasian.
I'm supposed to be Will Smith.
He turned it down?
Yeah, he was doing Wild Wild West.
Wow. So all of the main pieces would have been copper colored? The Oracle, except for the
Trinity.
Architect.
And Trinity.
Trinity. Okay. The Architect and Trinity. Because you'd have had the Oracle, you'd have had Morpheus, and there was one more, right? Oh, well, it would have been Neo. Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. But Trinity.
Who knows if it was all, they might have
switched all that, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Who knows?
Man, know thyself.
I'll tell you who knows. Terrence Howard and Cat Williams. Boy, hey, they sit there and do it. Put them on the podcast together. They just sit there and look at each other for 4 hours.
If I go again, the code, know the scriptures.
You ain't lying.
Bullets. A boomerang.
Stand your ground.
Hope that I delivered.
Murder.
Ministers, ask no attorneys.
That's suicide.
Yeah, man. Eye for an eye.
Open your third. Silence. Violence.
See something. Say something.
Shot-time, stand up. Slave theory. Greed, add ego, sprinkle in some fear, and you got slave.
Charity plus humility times love, freedom.
Do not answer questions.
Question everything.
I'm glad to be me now and nobody else.
Fear is an illusionary, imaginary
vibrate love.
forgiveness. That's love's highest vibration.
So, do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef.
Healthy people, feel thy people.
Because we know for sure, hurt people gonna try to hurt people.
So, free Larry Who.
Free Jeff Ford.
Free all the guys.
Prison is slavery.
The Yahusha.
Dangerous epiphany, you open every Christian saying nature is a mystery.
Walk.
Study ancient history, paging all
On
pagans,
waves.
calling all sages, wall-to-wall haters in the temple of
Move
the matrix.
mountains.
This is all a false matrix, hoping that the Lord save us, bringing back our pure status. Our pure status.
Word.
Know thyself. I will eat the right
How you
foods
gonna do that?
I grow myself.
Yes, sir. They say all we need is the faith of a mustard seed. And we got way more than that. Look, it's getting shorter every week.
That's in the Bible, man. The Bible's a tool for the white man.
Hey, man, before you know it, that mountain's gonna be out of the way.
I'm gonna let you in on a little
The Bible's a tool for the white man.
Being the one is just like being in love.
Great information is great
No one can
information,
tell
no
you
matter
you're in
what
love, you
book
just
it's
know
in.
it. Through and through, balls to bones.
I think the magic of it is it creates slaves and gods.
Yeah. Man, it's slaves.
It's ether.